Oh my God, it worked. What's up? Nice.
That was good.
Hey, us. Yay to us. Welcome to Rogue Entertainment. And I am not Stephen Walton. So this show is going to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be so good. So good. Welcome, everybody, to Rogue Entertainment. This is Scott from Sporking News Podcast. If you don't know me, you're on my channel. Subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. With us tonight is my usual cohort, Jane Theory.
Hey, guys. Thanks for joining us. It's going to be a lot of fun today.
It is. Also, our other cohort, Final Death Star? Tumbleweed goes by. That dude's always late, you know? Friggin' Californians. All right.
Minus Final.
Right. Minus Final. Rogue Entertainment minus Final. And we also got Elaine from Nerd Cookies. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. And the greatest mod in the game, who also has one of the coolest channels, Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective.
Week. Damn, this translator ain't working again. Hey, everybody, what's going on? This is Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective, the most hated guinea pig on YouTube. How's it going, y'all?
Beautiful, beautiful. And also we're, you can tell Stephen Walton isn't with us because Stephen is out in some part out west enjoying something like...
And it is a reminder, I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so, having said that, I want me some glory hole.
Okay, Steven. I mean, none of us asked you to do that, but that's great. Okay. So we're going to start off. We got a couple super chat. I get super chats now, people. I get super chats.
Congrats.
So let's start with my very first one.
Well deserved.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. My very first super chat is a $10 from McKinney90. It says, first one on the House Scott. Much love. Thank you, brother. If you guys don't know McKinney is a great mod, Padawan to Tommy, and he's also one of the best artists. I mean, his Wonder Woman is freaking phenomenal.
It's really good.
He took, yeah. I mean, I don't know you all. Tommy, did you see it? The Walmart Wonder Woman that he turned into like a gorgeous Wonder Woman?
Yes, I did. He did a hell of a job in there. Now all he has to do is finish it out and start coloring it in and show those idiots at DC how it's done.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. What about you, Elaine? You've seen it?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
But I've seen so many other good concept art for that. Machini's was definitely one of the best. I like the black and white style, though, too. How he does it.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty gorgeous. I thought that was beautiful. And I want to let everybody... Yeah, go ahead, please.
No, sorry. The fan redesigns are always so much better than what they're coming up with these days. It's ridiculous.
And the ones that are paid to do that.
Right. And we saw that. Didn't that picture look like the person took like 5 minutes? They didn't even like color Wonder Woman in. She was like a corpse-like figure.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I'll tell you exactly what it looked like to me. It looked like she went down to the Jersey Shore and just like looked at any lady that was walking around on the boardwalk out there and decided to draw a sketch. I mean, right. That's just me.
Right. You're right. What up, Script Doctor?
Script Doctor.
Hey, everybody.
I like it. I left that in the chat and he snuck in. Beautiful.
Gorgeous. Hey, what's going on, Whitey?
Yeah. So how you doing today, my bud? My bud? My bun, I said, but I meant my bud.
You said your bud?
I said my bun.
I'm doing well. I think I might have dislocated my ankle. But the thing is, it's weird. I can walk on it fine without any issues, but when I lie down, that's when it starts to irritate me.
That's weird.
It is, and I remember I rolled it like a month and a half ago because I was carrying some furniture over.
Script. You don't need to lie about this. Now, what you probably should have did in the beginning is you probably should have stopped. You should have ordered Steven's books on how to properly do an enema without possibly rolling your ankle, and you wouldn't have had this problem. So
well, I don't do that on
next
the
time. Next time, go to the source first.
Wow.
I think this is before Walton's Best Brew was actually a thing. So yeah,
I like it. Hello, Christy.
What a way to come into a stream. I mean,
I love this. So I'm going to be honest. I am so glad this is happening right now. But to be honest, I meant to send that link just to Tommy and not put it in the dump. But I'm so glad you guys are here. So this is going to be awesome.
Well,
We're going to have.
I can't stay very long. I just wanted to say congratulations on being monetized.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for saying that. I want to make sure people realize this is not my like monetization celebration. I'm hoping that's going to be next Saturday at my regular 9:30 news dump time. But if you guys want to spend money now and spend money then I'm really down with that. So why don't I read a couple, Christy? Thank you for saying that.
Spend money
You're
now.
welcome.
Spend
It's the
money now.
pre-celebration.
Right. Storyman Jack for $2. This thing? Yes, Storyman. If you guys don't know Storyman, he is George Big Dick Lucas on the Twitter, and he has a great channel where he does reviews, and you must enjoy that script. I think his reviews are fantastic. I haven't done the one for the Sandman yet because I'm still going through that book, but
Likewise, yeah.
yeah.
I don't want to get spoiled
what?
by the review yet, but
Yeah.
no, he has some good reviews.
Well, what about his clown news that he started doing too?
Oh, that stuff was funny, dude. He's scary looking. He is scary looking. Frightening.
I haven't checked that part out
You
yet.
got
I've only saw some of the reviews, but yeah, I definitely have to. I'll put that on my watch list right now.
Please do. For $2. Congrats from Latino Slant. Thank you, guys. It feels weird to actually read these because I always hear everybody else read them, and hope they actually read them, even though it takes them forever to get to the one you read, sent. But whatever.
I wonder which creator you're talking about.
I'm not talking shit because I'm hoping he's going to be on the stream next week. So. The guy just makes a lot of money.
Can I read this one for you, Scott?
And
Can I read?
All
this
right,
one
for
you?
$20 from Toxic Man Flu. Go ahead, my friend.
Scott, you deserve this. So don't start crying, you beta male.
I have clamps on certain areas of my body, so I won't cry.
TMI.
Oh, I just jumped. I don't even know how to do this. Like, I'm just doing it through StreamYard, so I don't know if there's another way to keep a track of this stuff. But we got a super sticker from Matt G. Thank you for being here, brother. Matt G sent the unicorn, which I love, and according to Christy, she sent one of my favorites of all time, and she sent the Stephen Walton.
The pooper sticker. You got a pooper sticker.
Thank you, buddy.
got
Thank
the
you very
Stephen
much.
Walton.
A little bit of Walton will go a long way.
Oh,
It's fantastic. All right, so no lag with me, guys, yet. So this is
No.
fantastic.
Nope.
Maybe I'll go retro too and just go stop camera so I don't screw myself up. And let's see who's in our chat before we get into our first article. We
Okay.
have Michael Jolin, one of the best. I need entertainment now.
Hey,
All right,
Michael.
we're gonna get there. Tina, one of my biggest supporters.
Hey,
Tina says, "Good evening, friends," as she always starts it out. Mason has a channel. Mason, are you a mod? If you're not, someone find Mason's channel and put it in there. Mason's a good dude. Thank you, Mason, for the what's up. Deviant Porg, otherwise known as Palanuki, is in the house. Good evening, everyone. I love Palanuki. The author, Stephen Enema, says, "Hail T." What the hell does Hail T mean? I don't know. He's like so cool. Hail T.
Is tea the alternative to the coffee?
I don't know. It's like, hey, this is my team. I got to keep an eye on them. Make sure they're doing good.
Well,
Guess what?
well, see, like early, like early evening hours, he's got to cut down to tea because after 44 ounces around noontime of his coffee enema, he needs something in between there because it's just too much. It's too
That
grainy.
sounds about right.
holy
Sounds
shit,
about right.
Tommy! You really thought this stuff out.
Well, I'm glad he does. We already said hello to Storyman Jack McKinney. We have TT in the house. Good day, mate. How are you, my friend? I went there, people. And is there anybody I missed? Oh, another monster. How are you, buddy? Bone, what's up, brother? Hello, peoples. You guys see anybody I missed? I said Matt G.
Time Profits.
Oh.
Yeah, the Time Prophet just showed up.
Yeah, I'm trying to get down there. Rosa, one of my biggest supporters. Hey guys, look at all your super chats. I know. Thank you so much. Rosa's a big supporter of the channel, and I appreciate everything she has done. I am honored to have Trey Courtney up in the house. Thank you, Trey. Hail to you. Toxic Man Flu one more time because yours was a big one. Nice one, according to Christy.
Yes, sir.
We have Dungeon Master Blaster. Hell, I don't know if this is your first time here, but that is an awesome picture.
I
So I
love
love
that.
that.
I
That is
like,
so
I
dope.
like the name.
That is so dope.
Steven, why is it always got to go there, Steven? Huh? Why is it
He
always got to go
goes.
there? Why aren't you telling everybody else why is it got to go there, Tommy? Why is it got to go there, Scott? Why is it got to go there, Christy? But here you are. You can't let it go. I mean, I realize that the marketing strategy that Culture and I have developed for you is really starting to pay off and it's leaking all over the place and it's a splashing success. But holy crap, Steven. Holy crap.
I think I just threw up a little bit. But you know, he goes right to the bun, like as in a bun. I'm thinking like a hot dog bun. You know, that's where I went. Steven, you sick bastard. All right. So who has the first article?
Not I, said the cat.
I think I have it.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
All right, let's see.
Oh, here we go. First time catching you, hoping for many more. Thank you for the shout out. Dude, thank you. Hold on, let my bald ass, because I took off my hat, but I'm still bald, but I love myself.
Did you just say ball sack?
No, bald ass. God, Christy. Dungeon Master Blaster, you are always welcome here. Thank you for being in my chat. And thank you to everybody else who is in my chat. I am a small channel. I understand the power of, you know, the fans, and you guys make this like Nick and his brother. You guys are always here. I hope to see Dungeon Master for many, many, many more moons. So thank you. And there's Sam. There's Sam right there. All right. Oh, we got another one. Toxic man flu. You don't have to shoot your whole wad right now. I'm having a thing next week. Now, Scott can ignore me in the chat like Steven does. No, I can't. No, I can't. Beware the brew and sporking millions. I love it. I love it. And we just got our great friend, Fat Steven Seagal, beats up Ryan Johnson for $2, Canadian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I have an article, but it's written in cheese spray. Well, be prepared. Be
Interesting.
prepared. And Darren, like my father before me, blanked. It happens to every guy at some point, bro. So don't worry about that, please. Please.
Oh goodness.
Well, I'm trying to help him. I mean, look at Toxic Nick. Speaking of ball sacks, hell, author Stephen Walton. I love it. I love it. And asked a question, and Dungeon Master Blaster says, at the time, Prophet, me too. I'm a huge follower of the fandom Menace and Comicsgate. Love you all. Thank you, brother. That means a lot to me. All right, let's get on to the article. I am going to go incognito.
I was going to say, Scotty, I got to go. My family's in town, but I just really wanted to come on and say congratulations so much. You totally deserve it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Christy,
You know what?
Christy, take
Christy,
care.
how many-
And you know what?
What?
I was going to say, Christy.
Christy, how
take
many?
care. Hold on, Scott. Christy
go ahead.
does not have enough watch hours yet, and I knew exactly where you were
that's where I
going
was
with that,
going.
Scott. So everybody that's out in the chat, if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to According to Christy. Go on her channel, watch some of her videos. Even if you don't have the time to sit there and watch the entire video, you could go ahead, hit play, and walk away and get her those hours. Help out any way you can.
Thank you, because it's so hard to live stream during the week now with work hours. So Saturdays are really like the only time that I can actually do one on my channel. So thank you so much for even just saying that.
We love you,
really
Christy.
cool.
We love
And
you.
again, Tommy, you're great. Jane, Elaine, whitest man on the internet.
I'm not offended by that at all.
Have a great evening. And Steven, you need to make sure you have some of those coffee enemas. Bye, guys.
Now.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Christy. I hope I'm not lagging.
Mic drop.
Am I lagging?
drop.
Am
Oh,
I
No, you're
lagging?
good.
Okay, great. I'm so scared of it. So before we go on, I have like PTSD towards it. Oh God, what is that? Who is that? That's nobody. Culture friggin' Casino. Here he is, the newest big dog on YouTube, Culture Casino.
How's it going? Hey, it's
What's
good to
going
see
on?
everybody.
Wow, great
Slacker.
entrance. Yeah, great entrance.
I like
Thank
your
you.
background. That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is pretty
you.
sweet.
Yeah,
So
this
what
is
I was
my.
gonna say.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
No, this is important. I came in on the middle of something.
It's not important. No,
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
This is says the
I'm sorry.
6,000 plus person.
I'm just not in
So
trouble.
what I was just gonna say was this. I was gonna say, Christy, like Tommy said, Christy is one of the biggest supporters of the Fandom Menace and
Yes.
everyone who is out there. She doesn't just say she's a supporter; she actually supports us, and it doesn't have to be monetized. You know, she supports us by showing up, being in the chat, hailing us all out, tweeting with us. So please, guys, go to her channel after this is done, not before this is done, and hit play all and just walk away. I mean, that's how quickly it'll help her. It
Play
will.
and
though.
walk
It will.
away.
I'm sure you'll
Follow
like
her on
it if
Twitter.
you
She
wanna
has
watch
great
it, but-
memes.
Yeah, she's great.
She does. She does. And before I say hello to Culture Casino again, I will say hello back to Toxic Man Flu. And he says, I've been saving up for a month to send you 70% of my money and Google 30%. So enjoy. Toxic Man Flu, that means a lot, dude. You guys, I'm not going to be a beta. I swear. I swear. Thank you, buddy. That's huge. So Culture, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, fantastic! And speaking of Christy, I just left the wonderful and talented Christy there over on According to Christy's channel. I was there with Script. We were talking about our favorite movies. It was a wonderful time. But I'm using my portable studio right now because I went up north where it was slightly cooler, and it's still not under 100 at certain points in the day. So, but it's better.
Where the hell are you?
Up in the north country.
You tell me later.
North Country.
I mean, north to me, you might still be south. I don't know.
Yeah, Scott's
Like-
already pretty far north for the U.S.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I'm pretty much like I'm closer to the Canadian border than I am to, like, I don't know, Washington D.C. Maybe about the same.
Yes, you are.
Actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
Pretty
I'm
close,
about
yeah.
the same. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm getting all these super chats. Sam, good day, mate, because that's Australian, right? $30
Yep.
Australian. Have some
All right.
money, Sam. Thank you for being
Aw.
the brother who offers all the money. I never said it, but you're the better looking one. Sorry, Nick. I had to say it. I mean, look at this guy. Look how
Now-
beautiful
now
that $30 makes him.
Uh-oh.
Now Nick had to.
Oh shit.
That's his
Oh
contribution.
shit. And let me just say, Sam. Let me just
Back
say,
now.
Sam, I actually think you guys are about the same beautiness. Nick, you are way more attractive than I thought. He says, congrats on the monetization. Keep up the great work. Thank you, my friend. And I'll go
Aw.
back to a $5 chat from our good friend. Did I go to him? I think I jumped. Hold on. Yeah, there he is. Storyman Jack. Better tighten those clamps, buddy. I know. I'm getting really emotional here. All right, guys, let's get on to it so we actually get some articles done. This is an
You ready?
article about The Last Airbender, and Christy, sorry.
Christy.
Jane, take it away.
Actually, I had not read this before, so apparently, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Why have creators quit Netflix Atlanta or ATLA? I don't know. Live action series. Let's see. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Avatar: The Last Airbender is the animated fantasy epic on Netflix, which has built up a firm fan base. However, it looks like plans for a live-action ATLA series have hit a roadblock. Why have the creators of the show left? Any thoughts?
Oh, it's not
Money.
good.
It's usually right? So it says the classic anime
sorry,
series.
real quick. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Someone finally showed up.
Hey.
Well, it's part of his name to final.
Yeah,
That's right.
we're plus final
Take
now.
yourself off screen. Take yourself off screen. You're not that important. We're not screwing up my chat, my live stream for your face when you're late. Hold on there before you go. Let him see the pearly whites, my friend. There we go.
There's
Everyone,
the man that
final Death Star in the house.
ruined Star Wars. Thank you.
My evil twin.
Are you
Time
muted?
traveler.
Are you muted?
All
Final? I didn't
right.
hear you.
No, he's on a delay.
Oh.
Oh, thank God. Wait a minute. I'm not on a delay, and he is. What a loser.
Yeah, get it out of your system now, Scott.
I know, because we got way too many people on here. I'm going to be screwed. But you know, it is what it is. Fat Steven Seagal, I think, is writing this one. It's going so slow right now. Yeah, it's Fat Steven Seagal beats up Ryan John. Where's Steven's invite? Whatever. Okay. All right. So who wants to answer? Anybody else want to answer Jane's question?
Well, I think I was going to say, I think I heard something about to the effect that they didn't like the way the direction of the show was going on because they worked on the original Avatar: The Last Airbender. I heard something to that effect. Yeah, but the new version of it, the way that Netflix apparently wanted the show to go the direction they wanted the show to go, they didn't like how it was going. And that's why they kind of walked off. I did hear that. I don't know how true that is, but that's one of the things I did hear, that they didn't like the direction that it was being pushed in.
So, Script Doctor, Script Doctor, in Hollywood terms, what does that actually mean?
Creative differences.
Yeah, so they're taking what? You think they're just? Do you think they're taking their baby and turning this live action into something that, you know, the original is not?
Well, if anything, they're probably worried it's going to go over as well as the actual live action feature film by M. Night Shyamalan, and they don't want to go through that again. So they're opting to leave since it's probably a safer bet for the reputation of the franchise.
Damn.
Well, DiMartino shared an open letter on his site confirming he and Konietzko had walked away from the project in June. He described the move as a difficult decision for the pair after initially signing on back in 2018. They were serving as showrunners and executive producers on the forthcoming series. DiMartino explained, when the ATLA live-action series was first announced, Netflix had said that it was committed to honoring our version for this retelling and to supporting us on creating the series. But during the development process, DiMartino said how things did not go as we had hoped. He explained in the letter, look, things happen. Productions are challenging. Unforeseen events arise. Plans have to change. And when those things have happened at other points during my career, I like to be like an air nomad and adapt. I do my best to go with the flow, no matter what obstacle is put in my way. But even an air nomad knows when it's time to cut their losses and move on. DiMartino's letter went on to say how he couldn't control the creative direction of the series, but had power over his response to the situation. The ATLA creative went on to say, so I chose to leave the project. It was the hardest professional decision I've ever had to make, and certainly not one that I took lightly, but it was necessary for my happiness and creative integrity. And who knows, Netflix's live-action adaptation of Avatar has the potential to be good. It might turn out to be a show many of you end up enjoying.
Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. All right, let's pause there. One of the things they hated is that they didn't want white actors in the show, but Netflix imposed it. Is that true, Deviant Port? So the actual creators wanted, you know, ethnicity added to Netflix show, the live action, but Netflix actually didn't want it?
No, it was the other way around.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, the creators did not want it. They wanted to keep it with an Asian cast because, you know, it's based on Asian characters. But
That's what I'm saying.
wanted to add. Yeah.
Netflix wanted to be open to hiring anyone who could, you know, portray the character well. And I guess they said, no, these are Asian characters. They should be portrayed by Asian people.
You know, I tend to agree with them, though, in this aspect, because, you know, we always talk about how we should be honoring the creator's original intent, you know, and that when they switch these things around and they race swap and gender swap, you're not honoring what was intended, you know. So while, yes, it's acting and people can play different roles and we've seen it done well, I would always go with, you know, what the creators wanted. And in this case, if the creators want an all Asian cast for their characters that were based, you know, on Asian characters, Asian people, then I think they have every right to do that. And, you know, I think it's the same as when we say, you know, when we get upset about Marvel or DC or anyone else swapping around, with characters that we love, because it takes away from like what either George Lucas wanted or whoever it is. So I think it's the same thing.
Wow,
That surprises
and
me.
we,
That
yeah,
Netflix
go ahead, Nerd Cookies.
That surprised me that Netflix would want to fight that in the first place. They've already had issues with whitewashing in other shows and other shows that they've adapted, or anime shows. So they already have had backlash. So this really surprises me that it was the casting that was the issue.
Well,
So
I
go
don't
ahead,
really.
Tommy.
I don't really find it that surprising, because you figure in 2018, when they first started working on the development for this series, that was right around the time when all this crazy woke agenda nonsense was really in full steam, really, at that point. That's when people were really getting out of hand with it, and it bled, of course, over into 2019, into part of this year as well. But if you look at some of the newer franchises they've been working on, and I actually like to go back to the well on this one when you talk about that new Transformers series that came out, Siege, War for Cybertron, they actually went back to the well and they paid a whole lot of respect to a lot of the different franchises that came before, and they put together one hell of a show right there. Now, because this one started so much earlier, is this just a lot of that nonsense that was held over from back when that big push for the woke agenda was going on? Is that why it's like that now? And if there's enough of an outcry, will they change their minds? And will they put together something that's decent like they did with the Transformers one?
Yeah. You know what? The way I look at it is this. If it's the way these guys are saying, like Deviant Porg and others, I can understand to respect the creator. The creator wants Asian actors. There are fantastic Asian actors out there. I think that's great. I can see Netflix. Okay, we want people that other people are going to want to watch. Now, we want the best. If we can get a big name white actor, why not have a big name white actor? So is it not? It's not like a race thing to me. It's a studio wanting to have the bankability, and the creator wanting to have like the authenticity. You know what I mean? I don't think
but I mean, race swapping annoys me to no end.
Me
Like
too.
I hear what people say, anybody should be able to play any role, but at the end of the day, it's more I don't know, it grabs your attention more and it brings you into the world when it looks authentic. And I understand wanting to have a big name attached to it, but it may be that person it just isn't the creative vision that the creator had in mind. And I think you should stick as close to that as possible and try to create that world and make it as realistic as possible. Also, it's the same thing, just real quick, similar to the controversy around Zoe Saldana. I understand everybody's thing was, oh, well, she's Black. What difference does it make? But it would have been more realistic and made you have a better sense of who the character was the closer the person actually looked to the character. I don't see that as a bad thing. Wanting realism.
Right. And before you jump in, before you jump in, let me just read this from the great Culture Casino, who's on our panel right now. So thank you for the money. You'll be able to stay on the whole show now. I am so happy that you are now monetized. To receive less money than your PayPal account is a special honor that you truly deserve. Love to all the original Sporks, the OSs, and all the new Sporks, the NSs out there. Don't forget your Sporkaroos. We have to have one of those commercials soon enough. Why don't you go ahead with that? What you were going to say, final, and then Culture, if you'd like to jump in on that.
I was just going to go with what Jane was saying. With like a creator's vision, it also is an audience's vision. Well, I guess fans of that franchise, or that IP, because they have certain expectations and something in mind, as far as characters go when they create, especially when it's coming from a comic or something you haven't seen in live action yet. You have a certain something you want to see portrayed the way you have it in your mind. And yeah, you're right, Jane. The closer you can get to that, not only are you honoring the director or creator's intent, but you're also kind of meeting the fan expectations, and that's only that's usually a good thing to make your fans happy and please them. Disney apparently hasn't learned this, or Lucasfilm hasn't learned this, but so I just wanted to add that in. It's also fans have an expectation of seeing something, and the closer you get to that, the better off you usually are.
And it also reflects poorly on
No, go ahead, Jane. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it also reflects poorly on Hollywood that they continue to want to use the same actors over and over. Give
Yes.
new actors a chance. You know, they may become fan favorites, but they have to
that's
have an
what I was
opportunity
gonna
to get in
say.
there.
I was going to say the same thing. Like, look, this isn't like a no-name franchise. You can have no-name actors on a big franchise and people will buy into it. I don't understand why the studios don't get this yet. Like, I don't need someone I know really, really well to play a role. Sometimes it's better to have a great young actor or even just a new actor that I don't really know. So I even believe it more that this is the character because it is such, I mean, The Last Airbender is huge from, kids growing up with it, even, young adults that loved it back in the day. You don't have to have the big name. You can go with Asian actors and maybe launch some great careers. What do you think, Culture?
Well, I honestly think that authenticity should rule the day, like Jane was saying. Like I think everybody has said. I have difficulty when you fundamentally change a character to serve some other purpose. If it doesn't serve the story, if it doesn't, if it doesn't, fundamentally add to what's being told, there's no point in doing it. That set aside, when you look at movies like Mulan, wouldn't it be outrageous to have, I don't know, Seth Rogen be in Mulan as Li Shang, or but you understand my point is
I just threw up in my mouth.
It's just out of place, and it's one of those things where why we are intentionally watching this happen across every top form of entertainment, where you're overrepresenting in a way that it distracts from the original purpose of the storytelling, and it's I mean, that's the distracting part of all of this. This story is distracting in and of itself, but maybe it's a planted story. Maybe this is a different way to complain about race stuff or whatever. But it's honestly, there is no need to change existing products that have been successful forever and a day. It's just dumb. And that the biggest flaw in the upcoming movie, and I'm nearly done, but the biggest flaw in the upcoming movie Mulan is the changes that they made to the original story, because it's not going to be a shot for shot film. It's going to be missing a lot of the original character, and parents are going to take their kids based on the movie that they saw when they were younger to see this film, and it's not going to be represented in the same way. It's not going to be the same authentic story that was told before. So there it is.
They took out the dragon, man.
Oh, Mr. Carter, can I add on to that, Mr. Carter?
Yeah,
go for it.
So, no, one of the things that I think a lot of these people in Hollywood are really missing right now is the fact that they want to tell these stories and they want to tell them in a new way, but they don't want to offer any kind of like biscuits, if you will, to the original fans of those series. Who do they think are the ones that are going to see these series and bring the younger generation with them to see it? It's going to be the original fans of all these different franchises. And I think these eggheads are just missing out on that entirely. They just, it flies right over their heads. They just don't quite understand that if you don't give any kind of respect to the original fans, nobody is really going to want to see it, because the newer fans are not going to be the ones that carry you in to the next generation, because they know nothing about it.
Maybe they're hoping that they'll suck you in, with the name of it, so they get the parents, the people who grew up with it, and then once they bring their kids, they can, kind of brainwash the children into whatever they're trying to push. Maybe that's their plan.
Well, you guys are all making good points, but you're missing the most important thing of all, and that is movie studios. They don't have the money to start with to make this movie. The fans aren't paying for it before they're seeing it, like in production. It's someone with a lot of money that is probably not a fan, and it's up to the studio that wants to make the movie to convince them to give them the money so they can put it into production. And that person who has the money will end up making most of the decisions in order to part with it, hoping for an investment. Now, like if there was, say, a bunch of Last Airbender fans that had, say, tens of millions of dollars, and they happen to be in the Hollywood studio system, you'd probably get a more authentic version, but that's just not the case. So what you're dealing with here is a bunch of creators, especially in this situation, who are trying to compromise to get funding for a project that's passionate to them and translated to live action that can also be effectively sold to an existing fan base and create a new fan base. That's not going to happen because the people who are investing it are not going to be seeing it for, oh yeah, the audience will buy into this if we make it 100% authentic. They're looking to try and mitigate their losses as best as they can. So they go by the numbers of popularity. What type of names can they use that can definitely draw a committed audience in? And also, will the quality speak for itself after they get that draw? So you're going to get characters that are of a name in order to draw in that audience so that the investors will feel secure loaning the money out. Because even though Netflix makes a lot of money and they do have a lot of stuff in-house, they're still making these productions on loan. Every studio is. No studio is using their liquid cash to produce.
Script, aren't these studios starting to realize, though, that a lot of these things aren't making the money they should be making? That they're not as financially successful as they should be.
It's not even the studios all the time. It's the investors. It's not always the studios. Sometimes it's the investors.
I would think that they would even have a better sense of that because they are money people. They should be looking at the data and looking at, ticket sales. And I mean, but I get the creatives. Sometimes I understand that they might not get it because they're in their creative bubble. But the investors, I mean, they're business. They should be business people. I would think that's even more their responsibility to look and say, hey, maybe this isn't working. We got to change our approach. Just getting a big name attached is not drawing in the fandom it should be.
Well, the investors are not as interested or committed with regards to the content itself that they're investing on. They're just interested in will it make a return, and they only care about the basic, on the face, superficial rules of the matter. So you could just go into them and be like, I've got this amazing cast of unknown people, which means the budget's going to be low. It's using an IP that people love, so we know we're going to get an audience draw. But the investor is still going to look at it and be like, okay, but I need a name. Like, I'm just the average guy. I'm going to be putting myself in the average audience. How the hell am I going to want to watch this if I don't recognize the name of an actor or celebrity of some kind that's going to be in it? If it's all a bunch of unknowns, why would I turn on the channel? And once again, you'd argue, oh, word of mouth. But it's like, no, word of mouth doesn't buy advertising dollars, advertising space, advertising time. Remember, in Hollywood, everyone will say no if they cannot commit to the fact that they're going to make their money back.
Script, don't you really think that that's actually telling to the hubris of Hollywood that if they don't really know the franchise well enough, that shouldn't they be putting people that understand the franchise and want to do the franchise justice? Right. So not only people come to see it, but it does draw new fans. Doesn't that make sense to put somebody in charge of it that knows what they're doing if they don't understand it?
They're not. It's the people that have to get that get the money, that provide the money. They're the ones that are completely disassociated with it. They look at it as basically a business investment, as objectively as possible, and they don't always look into the details of the variables of how a fan will respond, or how creatives who are passionate about the project want to do it. They just care about making their money back. And they make all the decisions because they're the ones that have the money. So it's basically, how does a creative compromise to get the money to fund the project they want to do and get it successful? Now, what we have here in this article is that the creators are leaving because even though they started to develop and get to that compromise, someone who most likely was responsible for money has had some demands that the creators are saying, you know what, we will not compromise on that, so we're going to leave. Right. And therefore, the thing is going to suffer. This is the nature of business. Like, you can have the greatest invention in the world, but if you don't find the right person that wants to invest in it, you're not going to make any money because you don't have the capital to produce it en masse, to sell it and get it to other people. So unless that person who you're pitching it to says, oh, I want it to be this or do this other thing, which actually may even change the invention to be something completely different than what you intended, you either compromise and build them what they want so you have the money and hopefully use that money to invest in the actual invention, or you say no and you move on to the next investor. So how long is it going to be until you actually get the product you want out there versus just compromising and trying to at least build up your credibility so that you could possibly get that dream project that you want down the future? It's not as simple as just saying, yeah, we got to appease the fans. It's like, okay, yeah, anybody can appease the fans if they put the hard work in, but you also have to appease the guy that's going to want to invest in it as well. And if you can't get the money, then you can't make the product. And if you can't make the product, then the fans can't buy it. And if the fans can't buy it, nobody's making anything.
Right. And that makes a lot of sense. Look, you got the bank and you got the creatives. The bank needs to make their money back and know that they have, pretty much a bulletproof way of getting money back. The creatives want to keep their dream of what the original, vision was. And both of them has to give and take a little bit, but it's going to be the money man who wins out on major disagreements. Let me just read this super chat real quick. Super chat from his name is Final DeathStar. I guess he has a
It sounds
channel.
like a
Check
good
him out.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad. He's better than Stephen Walton. He's better than Stephen Walton. $10. Here's a bit of cash for you to spend on Walton's best brew. Maybe even splurge on taking the VIP factory bean tour with live instructional seminar by Stephen himself. Don't worry, it's hands-on. I just threw up in my mouth again.
That
a
is
little
so
bit.
funny.
All right.
That sounds like that would be a suppositorily good time.
You got Steven, like his foot is up on on a stool, like, and this is how you insert. Okay.
He's like he's in the Captain Morgan pose.
Oh, boy.
Oh gosh.
All right, man. How about we read a little bit more and then we'll finish up discussing this.
Read a little bit more of the article.
Yeah, is there any more?
Is there more?
I mean, I think y'all pretty much covered it. I mean, the creators
No, that's
basically said,
pretty
you know
much
what?
it, right?
We're out. Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
I
The other
think
thing that
that's
to
it.
bring up, the other thing to bring up is that sometimes the banks can be do everything right to make money and still lose. Same with the creators; they can do everything right to make it authentic and still lose. Sometimes there's just variables you can't account for that don't resonate with your audience or your investors. And again, these investors aren't just going over the last 5 years of how movies are made; they're going over the last 30 or 40 years of how movies have been made and been successful to do their aggregate. So even if they see like, oh yeah, these last 5 years we made similar decisions to what happened 30 years ago and we still lost, well, it's still a safer bet to still make those decisions because maybe they'll get that lightning in the bottle part of, again, as opposed to completely throwing out the baby with the bathwater and starting from scratch. So it's a really tricky negotiation. That's why in Hollywood, 99.9% of all the movies that are circling around town don't get made.
Well, I think part of the problem
Oh,
is when they
shit.
sit there and they think that they
Oh,
have
shit.
to have big name actors for these different films. I'm pretty sure that George Lucas was the first guy to prove that you didn't need big name actors and big price tag with those actors to make a good movie when he did the first Star Wars movie. So I don't
I was in a
understand why
different
some of
time
these.
too.
But that was, yeah, I mean, that was
it could be
before the
done now.
blockbuster.
It could be done now. Does anybody know any of the actors that were on that Umbrella Academy show?
Yes.
I
Page
didn't
was
know
in that,
any
right?
of them. I didn't know
Yeah.
any of them before I seen
Well,
them.
I
And
worked
think
with
they
two
all
of them
did
before, so
a
I knew who they
fantastic
were.
job.
Here's a good what about Parasite though? Asian cast, no one's well known. It blows up and does amazing. You know, I mean, it can be done. There's recent examples.
Oh,
that it can be
absolutely. It can be done.
Yeah.
The thing
Let me
is
say
that
this.
Parasite is a very low budget film. Umbrella Academy, oddly enough, is also a very low budget show.
Right.
Star Wars, the original
Season
Star
one
Wars,
was
$10 million, and most of that was still paid for on top of it from out of George Lucas's pocket from his American Graffiti money.
Yeah.
Marlon Brando was technically the biggest actor at that time, and even then, he wasn't making a whole lot of money until the late 70s. So,
Speaking of money
God.
makes up for a man with small penis. And so I want to say thank you to everybody who super chatted my friend Scott, because he's very sensitive about the size of his schlong, and those super chats are really helping him. So thank you all so much. Get better internet, Scott. Thank you.
Those penile enlargement pills are not cheap.
They're not cheap. They're not
No,
cheap. And he
they're not.
uses the pump, not the pill, and that pump.
Well,
breaks.
I saw it. I saw it on The Spy Who Shagged Me, and I thought I'd use it. But whatever.
I mean, whatever works.
Whatever works. How are you, Steven? You son of a bitch.
I'm doing well. I wanted to come on and say you guys are killing it. I can't really talk because I'm out in the midst of vacation stuffs, but I wanted to say thank you to the chat for showing up and sharing out the link and hitting the like button and showing all this love to Scott. Scott, congratulations on monetization,
Thank you, brother.
man. I'm so proud of you, dude.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, and absolutely, Christy's so close. OG Star Wars just got to apply for monetization. So let's get according to Christy the hours that she needs. Let's get everybody to 1,000. And thank you guys for being so supportive of everybody in the Fourth Wave community. Much love to everybody out there.
Yeah,
supportive like 44 ounces.
Yeah, whatever that asshole says. Just unsub to Tommy. And...
well, we got We got love you too, buddy. Get the fuck out of here. We got 42 people. We got 42 people in the chat, and I don't think we have 42 likes. So let's hit that like button, people. Another monster. The girl who played Allison was great. Tommy, he didn't realize she was the same chick. I missed where you said she was from. Where did Allison? What other show was she on?
God, I forget.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. I knew Ellen Page, and I knew the kid who was like, what's his name? The big doofus one, the one that's part monkey. I knew of him. Any other of them I didn't know. But look, if you take The Last Airbender and make the cast all white, you are going to fail. Okay, I mean, I cannot imagine you actually not making it. Like, you couldn't make it that way anymore. Look at what happened to Ghost in a Shell, things like that. Like, you need to have Asian actors are one of the ones where I wouldn't change it out. Have the Asian actor. Let's get this out of the way so someone can see it. Oh, yeah. God.
Gross.
Oh,
what is this?
Wow. That looks too real. Oh, that's Steven Seagal.
That's
Gotta
where
love him,
Steven
man. Is. Yeah, right. Oh man. So, anybody else have anything else to say on this?
No.
Well, if they ended up crowdfunding this series before they put it into production, they could probably get away with that Asian cast.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like basically the only guarantee you can have at this point. Unless they can say, oh yeah, we can make the entire series, however many episodes it is, say 10, 13 for $6 million total, in which case they'll get that money and they'll make it. And it'll be exactly as you expect it would be with regards to casting and authenticity. However, the special effects might be a little wanting because $6 million does not go a long way for post-production.
Now, what do you think Netflix, how do you think this show's going to do now with both creators walking out? Do you think it's going to do all right? Do you think this will have a backlash of fans? It's not going to watch it?
Depends if the investors still stay in as a result. Yeah.
In terms of quality, I think it may end up like, Game of Thrones season 8 because you don't have the original creators involved, and it's probably going to be a train wreck.
Yeah, I don't have good feelings about it even getting off the ground to a good stage to even get to the developmental and filming stage without the original creators is somewhere involved in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think
that's
definitely
have to have one hell of a. Sorry, go ahead, Tommy.
No, cool. I think that's the problem that they're going to find is, there's so many fans of this series. When they see that the original creators walked off because they feel that their vision wasn't being paid respect, are they really going to get those fans to want to come in and watch this thing? I doubt it very highly. And if they are, they're going to come in and they're going to hate watch it, and then they're going to bash on it.
Right.
Yeah. The only way this will be successful is to have one hell of a writing staff that can actually do it justice without the creators on hand, and that's statistically unlikely.
Yeah, that's
the way I look at it is this: we said it before. I hate when the creator has a certain ethnicity. I want that ethnicity. I'm sorry, I don't want a black Superman. Just like I want, Ghost in the Shell to have an Asian character. Like I don't want it washed out in any direction. It doesn't have to be whitewashed. I just want the person that was supposed to be in the role as the cartoon character to be the actual person we see live, and if that's a new actor, let it be a new actor. Give people a chance. Jeez, I don't need, the same actors playing this like 35 different superheroes because everybody just wants that one person.
And that's part of the problem is that they continue to talk like, oh, we can't find, the right actor, the right actress. Are you really looking? Because there are talented
I know they're not.
Asian actresses and actors out there. You can find them. You're just not looking.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And this problem,
casting directors don't do a much job. They just put out a notice and it's up to the agents to submit. They don't go out on the hunt. Whenever you read articles saying, oh, we searched worldwide, we tested 400 people, they tested 40 people. They didn't search worldwide. They walked out to the corners as far as they went. I know, I've seen it.
And most likely they've already got 2 or 3 people that are already known in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody already has their stuff in mind. But let's go a little bit more similar to this. So you can go with Superman the movie. So the Alexander Salkins were willing to pay for it, but they still needed additional funding. and it was Superman. It was the biggest superhero at that time. It was going to be the 40th anniversary. They still couldn't get the funding. They had to get Gene Hackman on first because he was a name. They had to then get Marlon Brando on first because he was a name. Like they just didn't like, even though they were big stars at that point, they weren't huge enough to, you know, really garner like the creation, the solidification of this film as an existing IP. Like they wouldn't even be able, you could have gotten Marlon Brando on an original IP and it still probably wouldn't have really nailed or guaranteed the movie unless Marlon Brando said, I'm going to be a producer, I'm going to start funding this movie as well. Same thing, we're like Gene Hackman. But here we have 1978, 77 at the time when they were actually filming this, where they have an IP that's worldwide known. The Salkins think, yeah, this is going to be a hit. Warner Brothers thinks this is going to be a hit. But they have their doubts because they're looking for an unknown to play Superman, but they have no audience draw aside from the brand name. And they know that the brand name is only going to hit a small group of audience, a niche audience. So they need to get named actors in there. And this is the start of the whole blockbuster world. Like this is where, right at the beginning of when movies started to change. So they managed to get Gene Hackman, who had a big stipulation of not shaving his head. So they had to compromise for that. And then they had to convince Marlon Brando, who didn't even want to be on set, just phone in his role literally and be replaced with either a green suitcase or some sort of proxy. And it was a nightmare for them. But that's just the nature of the game. And when it came to something more recently like Ghost in the Shell, they were caught in the same position. They could have hired as many Asian actors as they wanted, but I guarantee you, regardless of whether Scarlett Johansson was in it or not, it would still have underperformed because they didn't have a name. I mean, they got the funding because Scarlett Johansson agreed to do it.
Right. And I get what some people are. Well, I get what some people are saying. I understand that you have to have a name with some of these things, but like on Netflix,
especially for a high risk IPs.
Exactly. A high risk, you need the name. Nerd Cookies, was that you?
Oh, I was just going to say, we can compare this development to the Cowboy Bebop live action series that they're developing. And they do have a big name actor, John Cho, but their process has deviated. That from the start, they were all trying to be true to, I guess, their ethnicities presented. They have their big name actor. They have the original director and creator involved, Shinichiro Watanabe. And so for them to deviate in regards to this other IP is it's very strange to me. I think it
right. Sorry. Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry, Nerd.
Go ahead.
You weren't done. No, go ahead.
Well, I forgot, but I think that was it. I think.
Thanks a lot, Culture. Go ahead.
But I just think it's interesting to compare the two. That's all I was going to say.
Okay, and you're right, and that's where I was going to go, Elaine, and this is it. The Cowboy Bebop's even being influenced by this disaster mess that we're experiencing now in all entertainment because they don't want to cast characters that look like the representations in the animated series. So you're not going to see the same characters represented physically as you saw in the cartoon. They're going to change the appearances of those characters. They've already started to play around with that casting. But I think, and going back a few minutes ago when Script Doctor was talking about what happened during Superman, there are always going to be actors attached to projects. I mean, a lot of these actors read these scripts and say, this is what I want to do. And they hand that to their agent or their combination of management team. And they go out and they start to shop them attached to the script in this role, we need this money. Who wants to make this? And that's when the studios get involved. But what's happening right now, this could be even worse than we think because we are talking about a Netflix show, but let's revisit the concept of, the studio system. We may go back to the old studio system. If studios can now own theaters, you could have actors tied to studios for their entire lifetime. Their contracts could lock them into a location, which means you will have zero diversity. The actors that you're tired of seeing already in all the same roles, it will be far worse, like it was way back in the day. So we'll have less representation of the things that we've been talking about. So these people have done exactly the opposite thing that their stated goals are, and I'm afraid that's gonna translate in the future. And I don't know if Script thinks that's something that could happen.
Hey, Culture. I mean, that's really already happening right now as Netflix, branches out and they start buying these different movie theaters. As
they have
doing
like
that,
Adam Sandler.
Yeah, well, they're trying to increase their presence in the movie going world as well as just being a streaming service. So I think you're already starting to see that to a lesser degree.
Yeah, you've got like Adam Sandler.
I just got, wait a minute, 1 second, final. I got to interrupt. Perry Chan is in the chat, people.
Perry
is in the chat. One of the greatest memers and video guys in the game. Culture Casino, take notes. Thank you, Perry. Thanks for showing up, brother. I really appreciate it. All right, go on, final.
I was just saying, you see that already happening with, Adam Sandler was signed to that huge Netflix deal. There's already studios that are starting to do this, but it is kind of a worry. A lot of times with these things, what they say and what they do are two different things, two different outcomes.
Final, is it like we're going back into like the 30s and 20s when one actor got signed to like a movie house and that's the only one they can make movies for? Like
Rooney was signed, and he did. I mean, it kind of is. That's sort of what this opens up, the possibility of that. But I just, I think that these studios or the financiers have to take a few more chances nowadays, because it's not like it was in the 70s. There was no superhero movie at that point. So Superman was just a really kind of a trial run, and the previous Supermans that had come before that had been campy. There was the George Reeves show. They weren't exactly taken seriously, so that kind of changed the game, and it's only gone on since there. As far as like
the original Batman. Oh my God.
Yeah, the original Batman actually holds up better today and is more brilliantly written than you'd think. Actually,
yeah, well, that's freaking Tim. He did it. Tim Burton's vision. I think.
Oh my God, we got a drop in. Hello, Lorena.
Hello.
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
What is up, Lorena? How are you?
Vacation.
On vacation, trying not to fry down here.
Well, you do not do that, but it seems like you're having a great time from the tweets I've seen.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's I've been having a great time. I'm having a wonderful time, and even more wonderful time watching Florida Man crap pop off. So that's
Lorena, there's no whining down here in Florida.
Look, I don't do this to whine. I do this as an observation and data collection. So when somebody says Florida Man did X, Y, and Z, that's nothing. Florida Man and 2001 did X, Y, and Z and didn't top that. So
Well, look, Lorena, I'm going to tell you for the last time today. Stop shooting videos outside my house. Nobody needs to know what I'm up to.
Oh man, that's great. That is great. All right. So everything's good though on your trip? You're having a good time?
Yeah, everything's good. Having a great time. Road trip down was uneventful, thank God. And
that's always good.
Yeah, it's been great. So tomorrow I'm headed down to Orlando, so I'll be at Universal Orlando. So it's been a great time. It's good to get out from from home and behind the computer and kind of get out and see the outside and all of that. So that's been great to do.
Awesome.
Absolutely great to do.
It was like perfect timing, really, Lorena, because there's really no storms going on right at the present moment either. So
yeah, right at the present moment, because last night a storm rolled through here and knocked the cable out.
Oh well, the small storms that roll through every single day and night. I mean, that's typical in the summer. But I'm talking about those big storms generated from like any like tropical storms or hurricanes or anything. So
yeah. Thankfully, none of those.
Drew, you got to go off camera, brother. Off camera, Drew.
God, that was terrifying.
Yeah, that was. Holy cow. I thought I was bald. Jeez. Wow, we got a full house almost. Look at this.
Wow.
I love it. I love
Brady
it.
Bunch.
Yeah, you know it. Well,
great.
we're about to read another article. Everybody, Drew is in the house. The fandom menem. I can't say it. You're the journalist. That's what you are. That is what you are. Yeah. How you, man?
Oh, hanging in there, brother, hanging in there. Obviously, here lately, I've been doing a fair amount of writing, so it's nice to kind of be able to like get back into the normal output because, man, I'll tell you what, like this, these spinal issues have been a killer, like holding me back, but. I had my final week of physical therapy this week, so I'm kind of a little bit back in the swing of things. I mean, I'm not all the way out of the woods, but I'm able to work, and that says a lot. So
that's good.
Good.
All right. Well, I think Final, are you back?
Yes.
All right. Let's get on to our next article then. There's a lot of people on this panel, so let's just make sure everybody gets a chance to talk. We're not over talking, even though I'm really good at that. So, Final, go ahead.
Okay. So this is coming out. This is from Bounding into Comics.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. DC Comics accused of straightwashing Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy's relationship. Straightwashing, which is this is the first time I've heard this term. Have you heard this before? Or is
Nope.
No, this is the first time.
Is there really anybody in the world that can keep up with all the new terms that they use? I mean, seriously, they got a new one every day.
All the word salad is bullshit.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it.
Well, hold on.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it really is. Hold on one second. We got a $2 super chat from the great Steven Seagal, who beat up Ryan Johnson. Canadian $2. Does anyone else smell asparagus? Hashtag invite Steven.
Before I forget, Scott, congrats on getting monetized.
Oh, thank you, Lorena. Well done. I really appreciate that. You guys are all going to get there pretty dang soon. So I'm glad I beat you guys because I probably would have cried. No, just kidding. You women are the best the Fandom Menace have to offer, and I appreciate it. And freaking who invited Karen Prime? Oh God,
hey, Karen, that's my girl.
I love Karen.
I love
Karen's
that
the
icon.
best.
Great avatar.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, Scott, I'm so proud of you, dude. I never got to congratulate you in person, brother. So I'm very happy that you got monetized, and it just speaks to that just speaks to the level of talent and how good a content creator you are, man.
I appreciate
we knew this all the time coming up.
I didn't beat Steven, but Steven was definitely people. So his remedies really made people relax, if you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, you know how it is. All right. Thank you guys. Let's get into this article so we can bitch about things we love.
All right. So it says here, it may be the end of the affair between Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy in the comics. Furthermore, the restructuring of Warner Brothers, i.e. the bloodbath, is getting blamed. Bleeding Cool accuses the changes happening across the board at Warner, which come with mass layoffs, of altering DC editorial policy, and the site presents as proof the retrograde of the torrid parts of Harley/Ivy's dynamic. I didn't know it was such a big thing. Their relationship was such a huge thing. I mean, that's that. I had known that they had kind of flirted with the idea of them being. I thought it was bisexual. I don't know. Were they full on lesbian? Were they full
I thought
gay?
they were just Thelma and Louise.
Yeah, that's
what I got.
Well, she was with the Joker, right? Harley
the
was
original,
the Joker.
the original storyline, she was, in love with the Joker.
Well, she's only been with the Joker. She's only been with the Joker since her, her creation. But whatever, no big deal. Now she's gay, and now she's not again. I guess
they had taken a different approach when they did that Gotham TV series because they actually had Catwoman, or who would become Catwoman, wind up having like this weird relationship with Ivy. So,
yeah, that's true. That's interesting. They kind of, I mean, they've been going down this path for a while, but now to call it here, labeling it straightwashing with characters who were originally straight, just kind of confuses me a little bit. But let's see. It says labeling straightwashing. BC points to the cooling down of the relationship in the comics, as well as the rebranding of merchandise. Harley has been dating Booster Gold in her main eponymous series of Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy miniseries turned into the Thelma and Louise, which is what you said, Script, I think, right?
Yep.
Which is how it was in Batman the Animated Series. The miniseries ended with a panel of Ivy giving Harley a peck on the forehead, as seen here. There it is. And hold on a sec, my computer. Okay. It was revealed that Poison Ivy, that had been palling around with Harley Quinn, was just a fragment of the larger whole. Okay.
Oh, they pulled a swamp
Whatever
thing
that
on
so
it.
it wasn't.
Okay, so was it just
pretty
like
pretty much.
yeah.
So what they're saying, what I'm getting from this, and I love Trey Courtney because Trey Courtney does not mix words. This is comics now. He's right. You know, like you can't have two females that are just friends anymore. Like they have to be in a relationship, which makes no freaking sense to me. Like we hit the nail on the head. Harley Quinn was in a toxic relationship with the Joker. That is her whole dynamic is this toxic relationship. And I understand if she breaks apart from that, but that is like the creation of her, this toxic, just dysfunctional relationship that they should not be together, but they're so effing nuts that they stayed together with each other. And now we're trying to say that Poison Ivy and her got it on. And I think that's ridiculous. Anybody else?
Well, they did that in the cartoon.
Yeah.
The Harley and Ivy cartoon, or Harley Quinn cartoon, sorry.
That's
Well,
what
I
the,
do agree
the
that I
modern
don't
one.
like. I don't like how everything has to be a sexual relationship between, like, shipping is a thing now, and like with Poe and Finn and Rey and Kylo, just things that are forced. When honestly, I prefer the buddy relationships. I think those are really. We see romantic relationships and other things and other properties, but it's. I like the dynamic between friends and the buddy relationships, the buddy cop movies that are so popular because it's just, and I think the Thelma and Louise dynamic worked really well.
Yeah, I think you're spot on about that, Elaine, because I mean, look at the shows that and I'm pointing this out because I kind of grew up on TV shows like that. I mean, you had that like in Chips with Ponch and John and stuff like that. I mean,
Starsky and Hutch.
Right, exactly, and
Turner and Hooch.
Bert and Ernie.
Yeah,
Wow.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Rush Hour.
Right.
Die Hard, all those.
And there's like constant
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah, constant examples that
DJ and the Bear.
Yeah.
You could just keep going on and on.
I know. I mean, but there's constant examples getting
Bosom buddies.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, bosom buddies. Yeah. Perfect
Apollo and
strangers.
Starbuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Jesus.
My
All
two
right.
dads. I mean,
yeah.
okay, sorry, but that's,
Urkel and Mr. Winslow.
All right.
Yeah, that was
Early.
To get the point.
I mean,
What
we're
about
just
Joe
trying to
Three
help
creepy
you.
guys in Full House, right? What are
Joe
their names? I
Friday
didn't watch
and his
Full House.
partner from Dragnet.
Yeah, there you go.
The Golden Girls.
The Blues Brothers.
The Golden Girls.
But
Drew, what were you trying to say, though?
Yes.
Yeah, Drew, get it out. Spit it out.
The point is,
The guys
We
in
had-
MASH. The guys
we
in
had-
MASH, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, MASH.
Bill and Ted.
Come on, Drew. Let's go, Drew.
the point
Right
is,
there for
we
that
had
holiday.
Starsky and Hutch.
Frickin' McCoy and Spock.
Why can we not have this now? We had it before; it was fine. Why is it not fine now? Oh, that's right, because the Alphabet Mafia.
Starsky and Hutch.
Said that a while
There
ago,
you go.
Culture. You're slow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Miles and Julian
He's
from
slow.
Deep Space
It's
Nine.
called the Skittles Nation, not the Alphabet people. The Skittles
There you go.
Nation.
Skittles Nation.
Look,
That's a
I
good
love
one.
it. I
So
love that.
rewind.
That is
but-
the
but
best
let's-
one.
Right, that's a good one.
This
That's a
this
rainbow
is-
nobody wants to taste. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but this has only been a thing.
Culture, what were you going to say?
This has only been a thing since April.
Mhm.
As far as I remember, going back into the storyline, this Harley Quinn is, has this relationship with Poison Ivy. Only goes back to April. Am I wrong?
Wasn't it with the new
I
show?
don't think so.
Harley
Well, the
Quinn
Harley and
show,
Ivy
or was
show-
it-
Right.
Did address it, but it was in the second season of this year, which I think premiered in April, but they didn't actually get into the relationship towards the end of the series, which I think would have been in May or early June. So,
Yeah.
it's still
Yeah.
fairly new.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, but they're going to be together in the next season, right? Is that what's happening?
If they get a third, yeah, I think so.
I mean,
are they still going to do that now that
Kid
they're
a third.
canceling it in the comics?
So I don't see why you can be accused of straightwashing if in other
Well,
properties
no.
they're together, other deviations of the story. You know.
Right. It doesn't all have to be the same. And look, I mean, you never know. It's a fragment of poison ivy. It can grow. It seems like a Swamp thing. So maybe a thing will grow on her and it'll be a different type of freaky deaky thing. Anybody? Anybody?
It's a
Anybody?
clipping.
Well, let's just say at
Well,
least
there
it's
goes my
organic.
monetization. There goes my monetization. Exactly.
It's fun while
It's
it lasted.
organic. Yeah, it was a good time. Thanks, everybody. Actually, there is a $10 super chat. Let me get to that before they take it from me. $10 super chat, and
Who's crying baby?
Is that real or was?
What was it?
I'm sorry.
Scott
I
being
got
a
a little excited. I'm a beta. What are you gonna do? All right, and we have McKinney. Is that coming up? Because it's not coming up on mine. McKinney, it's it is okay.
Makini
It's
90.
the mindset. It's McKinney 90.
No,
He understands why I say that.
It's Mankini.
McKinney. McKinney
Oh my-
understands. It's this mindset that because two guys having a bromance means that they would have to be gay. This is a thing that you see with shippers in fandoms wanting. Oh, finally, it's up on the screen. Wanting their headcanons be real.
You know what? He brings up an excellent point when he actually talks
Valid.
about two guys being in a series and being on the screen together. And if you want to talk about one of the older shows that never actually took it in that direction, you would have to talk about The Odd Couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oscar and
Perfect.
Felix.
He also, Oscar and Felix. He also put for $5. Oftentimes, those forced ships can ruin a show or fiction. Some exceptions are the Korosimi endings in Legends of Korra. I haven't watched that yet. Anybody else watch The Legend of Korra?
I
On
haven't.
Netflix,
I'm
I believe,
sorry.
right?
No.
No.
I just the original.
Well, get on it, Elaine. God
I
damn
know.
it. All right.
Well, damn it. They better not ruin Maverick and Goose for me.
But
Beretta.
that's a good point about
Well,
forced.
Goose is dead, so I mean they can't
Maverick
really ruin
and Goose
that.
were-
So.
Yeah, that's true. They died straight.
What were you
even
going to say,
like
Nerd?
Ray, even like
Goose
Ray and
left his
Kylo
wife
and
and child all alone. So.
What do you think?
Gentlemen,
like-
Nerd Cookies speaking. Go ahead, Elaine. I'll start
I was just
putting
going to
people in the
reiterate,
back.
and I already said it, but like just reiterating the point of like Ray and Kylo. I mean, that makes no sense, and it definitely feels forced. Their kiss just feels
Right.
just gross. I
Forced.
don't know. It's just it doesn't make sense, and of course they had that weird like they're siblings kind of relationship, which was odd, but just things
True.
like
Yeah.
that about forcing things that aren't there, and it just doesn't work out.
Well, then they made them
Well,
actual
because they-
siblings because she's a Palpatine and Palpatine created Anakin, so technically they are siblings.
There you
Palpatine's
go.
not great
There you go.
Anakin.
Kissing
Well,
cousins.
Well, it's not been confirmed, but it was alluded to for sure.
Well, they
Tommy,
only did
Tommy?
that, they only did that for a small niche part of the fandom that wanted to see that, and that's the actual funny thing about it.
Right.
Is they didn't care about what the bulk of the fans wanted to see. They just wanted to reach out to this tiny little niche group and say, "Hey, we're going to give you exactly what you want." And but why? Why?
Yeah, and that's what this seems to be
Right.
too. This
What were you going to say, Culture? Oh, I'm sorry. Elaine, you done?
yeah, I'm done. Sorry.
Okay, about
Continue.
time. Culture, what were you going to say?
Nothing important. Elaine always covers the bases. I got nothing to say.
She really does.
Oh no.
She really does. Why don't we read a little bit more of this article and maybe have some more stuff to bitch about?
Well, one of the reasons did you guys talk about this when you were talking about the Avatar? Was another reason they walked out was not just the whitewashing, was also in part that they wanted to mature the characters and sexualize the characters. That was like their second reason that they wanted to. You guys didn't talk about that, yeah? So that was another reason they walked out, was that Netflix has agreed to honor the characters as they were written, how they were intended to be portrayed, but they then came out and said, well, we want to age them up, was the term that I guess they used. I don't know if that means just like literally change their ages from like 9 or 10 to 19 or 20, or if that means just have the kid characters deal with adult themes, but they wanted to sexualize them. They wanted to make it dark. They wanted to make the show grittier, more bloody, all the things that, you know, a kid show should not be. Like, why do they need to sexualize everything? So it kind of goes along with this article. That's why I'm bringing it up.
No, I agree with that. You don't need to sexualize it. I do know why they would ask to age him up, and it's only because children grow really fast when you are shooting productions, right? So unless they're able to shoot for 6 months of the entire, what's that?
Well, also about like certain ages, kids can only work a certain amount of time during the day, right?
If you're if you're over the age of 8, you can work your 12 hours, but under that, it's like only a half day.
Yeah, but look, I mean,
and you still have to have supervision. You still have to have supervision.
Okay.
You have a show like Stranger Things, and I mean, although those kids are aging and they're starting to get into like the relationship stories, you know, they didn't have to really necessarily age them up or sexualize them. Now there are older characters.
Well, let's not talk about the sexualization yet, but like the aging up process for a show like The Last Airbender, which would be a very multiple season story arc over a contained time frame, you can't cast actual 9 to 12-year-olds because they're going to grow a foot within the first season. And they're also going to mature and enter through puberty, and their voices are going to be messed up. You'll have the Harry Potter issue that they had with the first film with Daniel Radcliffe, where they have to redub his voice, which is also an expensive process. If anything, they'd want actors that aren't going to grow in height or look older than they or like age up to be more mature than what they were beforehand, to avoid like the Frankie Muniz effect on Malcolm in the Middle, where the first 2 seasons he's playing like an 11-year-old, but because he shot up, he looked, and he became like turned 16 or 17. He looked like he was pushing 20, even though he's still a dorky little kid. Like they couldn't keep him justified as like a middle school kid anymore. They had to like throw him into high school and stuff. And he was getting taller than his older brother. So it was like there's a lot of issues with hiring little kids.
Well, that tells me
to be in a show, especially an action-oriented one. Also getting stunt performers that are the size and weight to look like the kids as well, because you can't have the kids throwing in all those stunts, right? So they want to mitigate the weird post-production aspects.
Back in the 80s and 90s. Okay, but that tells me that
I'm sorry, Jane just read my mind. Jane just read my mind.
Oh yeah,
12 hours.
Hit 8 to 10 years old, just get them for a full day. I mean, they get breaks in between, but yeah, they can do it. They can be there for the full 12-hour day.
They don't deserve it. Okay, go on. Sorry.
But actors don't actually ever work a full 12 hours. They're usually waiting, sleeping, napping. In between setups, so you know you're not really. It's not an exhausting job.
What they should have done is to redo a movie. Then it seems like that would have been a more logical step based on all these problems they'd have in continuing, you know, year after year with a series. They should have just remade a movie and done it right. Then they wouldn't have
the whole Last Airbender story into a single film, because I don't think that's possible.
Well, I mean, they tried it with the M. Night Shyamalan, which was terrible.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, it would get rid of the problem of having a casting issue where they could keep the original 10 of the characters, the original age, without having to change too much. But I see what you're saying.
You only get one story out of them. That's the thing. Because if you want to do a sequel, those kids are going to be, again, taller, older, heavier.
Well, then have the writers come up with a new story where they're older. You know, have it fit naturally with the creator's intent. You know, just have them age up by how the creators want them to age.
Right. Take a breath, Final. Jesus. Really, I get what both of you are saying, but you know. Look at it this way, Script Doctor. You're not telling me, yes, one reason is because of height and stuff like that. Tina said it best. She said they want a young adult component to the story. They don't want friendship. They don't want friendship. Yeah. Right. They don't want friendship. They want just like this. Just like this article we're not talking about.
Oh yeah, they're looking at one problem. They're like, hey, if we solve this problem, this opens up all these other story opportunities. We can go with these characters to bring in a wider audience. You got the young adult angle. You got being able to do more violence and action, because you can afford stunt people that look like the characters. They can do bigger stunts, more violence. You can then do sexual tension because they're hormonal kids or hormonal young adults. Sorry. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, it's all about the byproduct of things. But when it comes to like on the accounting and production side of parts, usually they're just trying to solve a problem first, and then they see opportunities. They don't just say, you know what, we're going to work on this story, but let's make them all 30 and let's make them all sleep with each other. Like, they don't jump to that conclusion, and if they do, they're very twisted people, but it's rare that they usually do. What usually ends up happening is like, how do we work around this problem? And then they're like, oh, well, if we solve this problem this way, we can do all these other things that'll broaden it out from a niche audience to a wide audience.
Right.
Because that's just the way it's done. Unless like a writer or a creator actually comes up and says, hey, yeah, I want to take this IP and I want to make them all 20-somethings. And then you know exactly why they're doing it. Because it's not about the story. It's about whatever type of idea or fetish that they are interested in recreating on screen.
What's crazy is you think these things would have been ironed out before before they entered into a contract with Netflix. I mean, I guess supposedly they were. Netflix said, yeah, we're going to honor it. And then, when it came down to it, they decided to switch things up. But you just think this stuff would be more ironed out. But I guess it's really not.
Development deals are actually really, really flimsy. If Netflix approaches you and says, hey, do you have an idea for something? And you're like, yeah, here's my idea. They'll buy it. And then they'll contract you to develop it, and they'll have a voice in the development process, and that's where these types of things and changes can occur.
Well, look what they did when they signed that contract with those guys to actually make the Siege War for Cybertron for the Transformers. They didn't spend a whole lot of time in development for that. They spent like maybe a year at the most.
For a cartoon, yeah, it was pretty quick. The people that pitched the idea, they knew exactly what they wanted, and Netflix just kind of said, yeah, go for it, because they were sold on the idea. With regards to the Last Airbender, they may have wanted to do a straight adaptation, and Netflix said, yeah, that's great. And as they were getting funding while they're during the development process, all these other new elements popped in, and that's where things fall apart, because again, it's not set in stone. They haven't started rolling film yet. They haven't committed to casting yet, so it's still more likely not to be made into a thing than it is to be made into a thing. And that's part of the development
Chris
process.
Persia. Hail Chris Persia, one of the OGs. Let's look, we all agree that again, we're going back to the same thing. It's money versus the creator. The creator wants to stay with what he has, just like Tina and the guys in the chat are saying right now. Young adult is a big industry right now.
Huge.
Like people,
it's been a big industry for 35 years.
Exactly, and it just keeps getting bigger. With the young adult books, the comics, the shows. Ever since Beverly Hills 90210 or something. But it truly is something they're going to make. Well, right. They're going to make more money off of young adults who have a little bit of their own pocket change where they can go now buy the t-shirt, buy the notebook, buy the lunchbox, buy the condoms, whatever. You know what I mean?
Merchandising.
Yeah.
Condoms.
All right.
Really? Okay. All right.
I'm sorry. I was waiting. I just wanted to hear from you. I haven't heard from you. You've been quiet, Lorena.
I explained it in the
I know you
I'm
did.
putting
Hilarious.
in my hair, and I don't want to hear people like clink, clink. What the heck are you drinking? What the heck's going on?
I love you, man. All right, let's get back to this article, okay?
Okay, so we left off. So I guess she did say "I love you" to her. So there was
that can still be plutonic.
Love. Yeah, that's
right.
True. That's true. It could be. Could all just be in her head. Harvey and Ivy were presented in February as single in Valentine's Day social media posts. Ooh. Okay. So this is all right. Isn't for everyone. Yeah, so I guess Single Awareness Day. So she was supposed to be single here on Valentine's Day.
Oh my God, there's a day for everything.
Yeah,
Single Awareness Day.
Awareness Day.
Right. Let me ask.
What
let
is
me
that,
ask
after
the women.
Valentine's Day or before Valentine's Day?
I think it's
Well,
on
Single
Valentine's
Awareness Day.
It's
Single
on.
Awareness Day was originally known as Enema Day, and
Oh,
Stephen got a little bit. Stephen got a little bit onto that with all his marketing strategies, and it's no longer going to be called Single Awareness Day. It's just going to be called Walton's Day.
Well, what about Valentine's Day?
It's on
Oh, yeah, that's,
Valentine's Day. You know what the
Is that
problem
the
is?
13th or 15th?
Nerd cookies.
I
14th.
think it's the 13th.
12th. 14th and a half.
It's before.
No, this is the problem.
It's from
This is the
it's from
problem,
Parks and
though.
Recreation.
In Australia, it's on the
the-
15th, but if you're in America, it's the 14th.
It's
Hold
got to
on,
be the
Culture
third.
Casino needs to speak.
We're talking about Galentine's Day. I'm sorry.
Yes, and I'm telling you, Single Awareness Day is formerly known as Desperation Day. It's Valentine. It's the day before Valentine's Day, February 13th.
It's also called It's also called Last Call Day.
Learn something
February
new every day.
13th is
Okay,
Yeah,
whatever happened to just buying yourself some flowers and some chocolate and watching a depressing movie and calling it a day? Did we really need a Singles Awareness Day?
exactly. Exactly,
Well,
Lorraine. You
well,
know what
maybe
it
there's
is?
a discount
It
if
is
there's a single awareness
once
day.
again. Well, no, once again, it's one of those things where people, I feel left out. People with, relationships get to have Valentine's Day. We're creating our own day. Yay, us single people, we're strong. Yay. Screw it. Just shut up and find a date next year.
God, another participation trophy.
Yes,
thing.
exactly.
Well,
Like
how
how
are those
exactly.
people going to know that their lives are so meaningless and pointless if somebody isn't pointing it out and making a big deal out of it by having a special day for them?
God.
Is she watching Superman and Lois there? Is that like
No, that's Wonder Woman.
That's Wonder Woman.
Oh, it's Wonder. Oh, okay, yeah, there's a
Interesting.
girl there.
Really?
And, yeah.
It is?
Really?
Yeah, the headband.
There's a
yeah,
little tiara there.
yeah. See it right
Oh,
there.
It's not a well-drawn image.
No, it's very
Yeah.
poorly
That's not
done.
Walmart. But you guys got to
Well, but
also
see,
understand that's not the Walmart Wonder Woman. Not Walmart.
Yes, right.
That's the
And they
real
added
one.
the line, so this is supposed to be like a cable TV. Is this set back in the 90s? Because she has a Super Nintendo here, and
Yeah.
and then the antennas. So
Yeah,
that's
that
it.
looks
So
like a PlayStation 1 there.
yeah, it does look like a PlayStation one. Yeah,
So she's a gamer girl.
I guess
Of
old
course,
school.
Harley has to be a gamer girl because it's contemporary enough to lure in the readers.
I mean, even the TVs.
Did she plays it in the tub? Because that seems dangerous.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, the
She
controller's
loves-
not really electrified.
She loves Nintendo.
Isn't it connected to the thing?
She loves
Yeah,
Nintendo.
but as long as you don't, it's all sealed by rubber. I tried hurting some relatives.
I've
with
never had the
Nintendo.
urge to play video games.
Well,
in the
not
tub.
only that, but if you notice, her shampoo is very phallic as well.
Oh yes.
Well,
yes.
Chris
Yeah, it looks
now,
like
I
a
do.
missile.
Now I noticed it.
And it's got
Chris
a purple
Persia
head. That's
says-
really weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an eagle almost on her head shitting on it or something.
No,
Chris
no,
Persia.
no. That's clearly a magic missile for the.
Oh,
evening.
okay. Magic missile. Chris Persia says, I thought Single Awareness Day was March 14th, also known as White Day. I don't know where he got that, but he might be right. I think we need to date grandparents. It started with, Grandparents Day. It became, You're Not My Daddy Day. It became the day before Easter for people that don't celebrate Easter. It's, Saturday, the not Easter. What is so funny? It's Not My Daddy Day. Okay. That's the day before Father's Day. And I still believe that Hallmark is behind all of it and everyone's falling for the shit.
Of course they are.
Just to sell cards.
Yep.
Yeah, gotta keep selling, gotta keep pushing stuff.
You don't need cards anymore. You can just tweet your greetings to people because they'll look at that more than they will a card.
I mean, some of my favorite ones are like, I'm sorry, single people that are like on Valentine's Day, like all by myself on Valentine's Day, feeling strong. I'm going for a hike. All I need is my dog. Really inside they're crying because everyone has to show their best face on the internet. Why don't you just be honest? Valentine's Day, it sucks. I'm single. I'm going to, like Lorena said, I'm going to eat a box of chocolate. Go screw yourself, happy people, instead of creating a whole day for yourself so you feel special.
That's
how I feel.
Just post
Every day is for the
the man.
Singles Day.
I'm drinking Jack Daniels and hating life. Fuck you, everyone.
There you go.
So now we know why you're single. You're drinking Jack Daniels and hating life. No one wants to be around that.
Culture, were you going to say something?
Oh gosh, once again, nothing important.
Okay, but I like to hear it.
No, I was just identifying all the all the toys that could be used for the bath time. That's all.
Okay, let's explain which ones you're looking at. I mean,
Well,
I
there's a
do see
Slipper.
I see a purple-headed one.
Yeah,
Rubber
yeah,
Um,
yeah. That
rubber ducky. Yep.
yeah,
Loofah.
the
Loofah.
loofah. Yeah.
Got the rubber
Yeah.
ducky.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ducky.
Okay.
It's all
All
right.
right.
Holding the
final.
remote. So
This is great. This is great internet, guys. Final. Jump
Thank you.
on.
Okay. So let's.
I wonder what's hiding in the bubbles.
That's a scary thought.
All right. Later, a solicitation for a Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy statue was reportedly modified to depict the pair as nothing more than friends. Here's how Nerdist announced it according to Bleeding Cool. Or if you are the comic book fan in need of a Valentine's Day treat this year, this gorgeous piece, the first official statue featuring the same-sex couple, couldn't be a better way to treat yourself. So
that's false
now
advertising.
they're saying they're just friends, but here it's saying same-sex couple. So which is it?
They're confused.
Listen,
it makes no
Ivy
sense.
and Harley aren't in college. They're not lesbians until graduation. They're adult supervillains.
You know, they were wrestling and like you're so adorable. You're so.
Not only that, if
Not one of
Ivy
those?
kisses Harley, she'll kill him. She'll kill her because she's poisoned. So
Exactly. $5 super chat from McKinney90. Tell that to the people who want to abolish Father's Day, of course, because what's not important? Having a father figure in the home. Look at the statistics. You don't need a father figure. No. And Tina says, Valentine's Day is important. It's her birthday. I will remember that, Tina. I will remember that. Okay.
oh yeah, you get to double
Read
dip
on,
on
buddy.
Valentine's Day. Lucky you.
Double dip. Yeah, but it's like the kid who has his birthday on Christmas. You really think he's getting as many presents? Come on.
Well, that's Christmas, and regarding presents, when you're dealing with Valentine's Day and spouses, you kind of got to go all in. Pun included.
Viagra. I hear you.
I mean, it's not as sick as say getting married on your birthday, because then one person is really just getting all the attention.
Right.
Is there a picture of this commemorative statue?
I don't
just
see
talking about
one. Yeah, I think they're just talking about it. I don't see a picture of the statue here. Maybe if someone else wants to see if they can look that up.
I
don't see one
I
in
thought it
this
was a weird
article.
thing to say, like, treat yourself with this statue.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the first thing people think of.
Nerd
on
Cookies
that.
is a Parks and Recs fan.
Yeah. Yes.
It's the best show.
Script knows.
Oh, real quick, $10 super chat. If it comes up, come on, $10 super chat from Dark Side Droids. Thank you, brother. Can't stay, just stopping by to say congrats, man. Well deserved, and it's been a long time coming. Thank you so much, buddy. Don't forget, everybody, I believe my actual celebration will be next week when it's not a Rogue Entertainment on my channel because Steven's a slacker. Next week, we'll have it Rogue Entertainment at 7 p.m. Eastern will be on Jane's channel, and then a 9:30, yeah, whoop whoop, and then a 9:30, The Dump. That's the new name for Sporking News Dump. It's the new show is The Dump. Will be on. We have 50 people in the chat right now. Please smash that like button, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and drain out your bank account to me. And Google. Don't forget Google. They got to get their fix. All right. What else do we got? 61 likes already. Holy crap. I didn't realize that script. Okay. Let's make it 75 people. Nice. Thank you, everybody. Go on, brother.
There you go, Scott.
What am I looking at, Tommy?
Said something?
I think it's at 62 likes now.
Okay, because every time Tommy says something like that, I'm fearful of what's coming up in the chat.
No, I got the screen share for you.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Oh, for the
one of the
statue,
original.
nice.
Yeah, one of the original Fourth Wave brothers in the house. Bear Nerd Fun. Please make sure you guys subscribe him.
Yeah, check out
you
his
have it in
channel.
the chat?
He grew a beard, and it is gorgeous.
Beard, nerd fun.
Yep.
Well, before, could someone show that? Because I can't screen share. You guys know my technology sucks. But with all these super chats, maybe I'll get new technology because we have a New Zealand 25. Is that 25? It's not coming up.
Just 5.
5.
Just 5. Sorry.
New
Sorry.
Zealand
Hey,
dollars.
Michael
New
Wolf's the
Zealand
man.
dollars.
5 New Zealand dollars. I'm sorry. That little squiggly thing looked like another number. Congrats on making it, mate. Thank you, brother. Thank you. One of my first subs. So I appreciate that. If you guys remember the number you were when you subscribed, throw it in the chat. I know Adega Outlaw was 67. I don't know why I remember that too. All right. Let's see what else we got going. Where is that? Anybody going to share the statue? No? No?
I don't. Is
Bueller?
it in here?
Did
I thought
have
Tommy
it?
put it. I thought he put it in the private chat.
I got the screen share up for you to go click on.
I don't see the screen share in the. Hold on 1 second. Little one saying goodnight. I don't see it though, Tommy.
Let me try it again.
Not everyone talk. I found it. Okay, here we go.
Well, we have to maintain the brand of the show, right?
God, guy. Oh, wow. We zoom in on that.
What in the world?
Okay, for that price point, hell no.
$400.
Oh my
I'll just say
god!
that
What?
right off the bat.
$400.
Oh my
No
God, I thought
way.
that said 39. That's 400 bucks. Did you zoom in on that,
I
Tommy?
could 3D print that for $30 in my house.
Is it made
But
of
this
gold?
is someone from eBay selling it for that price. That doesn't mean that's the original price. They might be hoping
I mean,
for
that's
more
that's
than.
the problem. You know, it's
Plus,
But
plus
even
50.
if you pick the markup, still, even say of 150, that's still freaking too much.
This was
Yeah.
a limited. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
yeah.
Who made this? Who made this?
Oh God.
It definitely looks like they're more than just friends there, though. I will say that.
Holly, you think?
Yeah,
Scott,
she's literally grinding into Harley.
Should I buy that?
Image, could you make that image smaller, Scott? Because I mean, people might be able to see it.
I mean,
I gotta
I
magnify
can't do it.
glass
I'm not
there,
the one
huh?
sharing it, smart ass.
Hey, I wish I could make it bigger.
Tommy's
Unfortunately,
actually
my computer is not that good. So
Tommy, that's
Control
all right.
plus.
That's all right. I'll take the fall for you. You know what? That looks like something I want to, buy my 6-year-old daughter because strong female characters.
No.
To celebrate Single
Wow,
Awareness
that's
Day.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, she's 6. She's got to start dating sometime soon, right? That's the way people have it. Sick bastards.
Jesus, at least
Okay.
wait another 10
Anyway.
years, right?
God, you got to keep her celebrating Single Awareness
Right.
Day for at least another decade.
Guys, she's gonna be celebrating that till she goes into the nunnery. Let's just remember that.
Good call. That's a good call.
I got double
say-
barrels waiting for anybody who's gonna treat that girl wrong. So don't worry about that.
Well, you raise her
what do
right,
we
she'll
got?
never be date a guy that'll treat her wrong, so you're good.
Oh no, my daughter, he will be a simp. My oldest is a tough one. So we have anything else in this article, or should we move on there? Final.
Geez, I don't know. Is there any, let's see. Well, here, let's read.
I mean,
this.
you're
This
doing
is
a great
DC.
job. You're doing a great job.
Oh
Thanks.
gosh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
this is DC's official, I guess, solicitation on the whole thing. We all know Valentine's Day is usually about celebrating love.
Typically.
Usually it is. When is it not?
Stop. Full stop. Ladies, I don't mean to be a sexist here, but Valentine's Day, is that about love or is that about not love? Or is its focus on love between two partners? Does anybody disagree on that?
No, it's love between.
Okay, the ladies really.
No.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay,
Wait,
thanks,
not
ladies.
about love? Wait,
You're doing a
what's
great
going on
job
here?
tonight.
I thought it was a rhetorical question. I'm
There's no
sorry.
disagreement.
No, I'm asking. I know that's what it is.
Well-
Reread that for the chat because that's ridiculous. Go ahead, nerd cookies.
I thought the intent was
Say what
for
you were
it to
gonna
be
say.
romantic. Is it not romantic? I'm confused.
I thought the idea
Well,
was how much
what
money you
this
were going to
says
spend
is-
on somebody.
Right, and are you going to get laid?
Would never pay that much for that. I don't.
Well, I just don't understand why it says we all know Valentine's Day is usually about celebrating love. What else is it about?
Yeah,
Getting lucky.
I don't understand that part.
I mean,
Sometimes
what's
getting
the
lucky isn't about love for some people. I have a couple of friends who are very determined about that.
Okay,
About
I
getting
guess that's
lucky?
a
Well,
way
you're-
of,
Look,
Oh
in
yeah,
that moment,
they
you're
exploit
in
Valentine's Day
love.
for basically quick sex. It's pretty pathetic. I
Well, no,
chew them out about it all
it's
the time.
called last call day. It's last call day. It's that girl wants to just go out and you guys have a good time. But that's two consenting adults. And talking about another consenting adult with Stephen Walton is Thomas Gilkey with a $5 or $4.99 super chat. And the great Thomas Gilkey says, if I could read it, congratulations, Sporking. You're incredible. Thanks, buddy. You deserve this so much. Now we need to get everyone else monetized. Hail to the entire panel. Thank you, brother. Same to you.
Oh, thank you, Thomas.
Hail, Thomas.
I don't need to be
Thomas.
monetized.
Hey, Thomas.
Truthfully, Thomas is one of the guys who actually means what he's saying right now. He truly supports everybody in the Fandom Menace. He goes, and I'm not talking monetarily. He's in their chats. He goes on their panels. He's friends. If you need someone to listen to, Thomas is one of the best guys in the fandom. And there are other people that should take him as an example, because a lot of people say they're out there to help people, but they're not. I'm sorry. Thomas is one of the ones that is. Thank you, Thomas. This chat rocks.
Thomas is like, as we say, the heart of the Fandom Menace.
Truly is. Sorry about that. It's just, this panel is amazing people that support one another. This chat is amazing. They support one another. That's what we should be doing for everyone. And if it takes you a couple minutes a day to click on somebody's video who doesn't have a lot of views and hit like, go ahead and do it, because you know what? There were bigger channels before me that did it for me. So I try to do it for all the smaller channels that I can. I know there's only a certain amount of time in the day, but we all try to help the best we can. So let's keep growing, everybody. Let's support one another. And this chat it's one of my favorite times of the week is Saturdays with you guys. So thank you guys.
Well, as far as Thomas is concerned, Scott, when you talk about how supportive he is and how much he gives back to the community, I mean, there's actually quite a few YouTubers that actually do that. But when you're talking about Thomas, he's not just supportive, he is supportive like a jockstrap. And from now on, he should be known as the jockstrap of the Fandom Menace. Thank you, Thomas, for being there and supporting us all in that time.
He supports and protects, yeah.
Supports and protects.
Please, Thomas, remember I am not the one who said that. Remember who said it to you. All right. What do we got here? What article is this?
Oh, is it a screen rant?
Who's sharing this one? Yeah, this is a different article.
That would be me, and it's just to reinforce that here we are looking at these two folks that are now confirmed to be married. The love affair between.
Wait, they're married now?
Yeah, the love affair.
I can't keep up with this.
They were just dating a second.
Hey, I'm sorry.
They were broken up though. After that.
Well, hey, this is August 9th.
Rush in where angels fear to tread, right? Jeez.
Yeah. August 9th. The love affair between Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy reached new heights in DC's Injustice, with their Vegas wedding finally revealed. And it goes on to say, spoilers. Okay, who cares? The latest issue of the Injustice 2 prequel comic confirms that Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy got married in the reality of the Injustice video games, though the Gal Pals have been depicted as having been in a committed romantic relationship before. This marks the first time that the two anti-heroines have been shown to have tied the knot in any reality. So isn't that great news, guys?
Yeah, freaking great, man. Let's just change everything. Just instead of creating
it's just the Injustice universe, that doesn't count.
Yeah, but dude, it does. Create new characters. Create a married, gay couple. I don't care what they are, but create your own. Stop taking. I understand that new artists and new authors change. I don't know, the direction of some of these characters. I get that. But I don't know, like Lorena, what do you think about that? If you have a character that's been dedicated to one type of, like Harley Quinn, she's been like the crazy sidekick to the Joker, sometimes in a relationship, sometimes not. Why take this character and change her and make her now a gay character with Poison Ivy instead of creating a new one?
Well, one, because it's easier to do that. And it's basically the lazy way out. And they're trying to hitch themselves up to the money train, which we all know is the woke agenda that's going on in Hollywood. It's not like they could have done something different, like, say, Cobra Kai. where they could
Right.
have written the character and took it in a direction that we did not expect. It's not to say that Harley Quinn couldn't turn out to be bi or be a lesbian, but don't tell us that. Show us that. Put the work into the character that develops that type of relationship. Don't just say, oh, well, we're going to put her in this particular direction. And isn't it great? You guys should all love us, right? And if you don't, you're a ist and a phobe or whatever. So it takes more work to put into developing a character to be of that particular persuasion than to just say, we'll just slap a label on her, and do it that way. Not a whole lot of work. We don't have to do it all.
Exactly. And what did Jane, could it also be one of those things where it's like, we already have a built-in audience. Let's, we're not going to piss them off by doing this. What is it?
Right. It's just looking to exploit a particular narrative. And I agree entirely with Lorena. They don't want to put in work. I mean, that's why they do this sort of thing. That's why they just simply announce it just out of the blue. And if you're shocked as a fan, if you're surprised by it, then they attack you for it. But they could have built in a story. It might have been actually interesting. How did she come to feel this way about her? What type of relationship did they have? Explore that some. Cover that in the comic, cover it in a television show. If you want to do it in a film, do it in a film, but show us exactly what you're talking about and the reciprocal feelings of the other character. Just what is it that's happening in her life to change her? That's what we want to see. That's what makes these characters relatable.
To a fair point, they kind of did that with the Harley Quinn animated series in season 2. It was a little exaggerated. It was a little rushed, but they did try to explore that. However, I completely understand the difficulty of creating a new character to fit a certain demographic. I mean, just in this conversation, I could think of, okay, let's say we want to do a lesbian supervillain, and I'll come up with a lesbian supervillain named Jennifer Derringer, and she can shapeshift into other people, and we'll call her supervillain named Transgender. So, like there, you can kind of get the basic foundation of a character there, but then you start to explore, like, well, what's her motivation? Why is she can shapeshift? What does she do with that? Does she just pose as other people and live their lives and like steal their money and go on exaggerated or extravagant vacations or whatnot? Like, is there anything more sinister to her, or is she just kind of like like an inconvenience of a character? In which case, if it's an inconvenience of a character, then you're going to get people judgmenting that she's not as deep or developed. So that's why you have these BT people do, as Lorena said, which is just take this this one character trait that's really a non-issue and just slap it onto an existing character, so at least you get your points and you can move on to other things.
My issue with this is not even so much that they kind of explore this bisexual little relationship or fling or whatever it was, because if they kind of explained it in the cartoon, or if they gave some attempt, it makes sense. She was abused from Joker. She became really close with Poison Ivy, who also has kind of a really lonely background. So something happened. The issue for me is that now that that's over and they decided to go back to being straight, they're calling it whitewash, or not whitewashing, straightwashing. That's the issue. Well, now it's got a label because it's not okay. Now that they've gone down one road and explored something, they can't come back. It's okay for them to go one way, but if it's just a fling and they're coming back to being straight, now it's an issue. That's my problem with this.
But it's not. It's not straightwashing or whatever they have to say. And I'll answer that right after these 2 super chats. One is from Toxic Man Flu. Gotta go. Congrats, Scott. I expect to be the one you thank for your success when you pen your autobiography, maybe writer's credit even. Hey man, if you know me, I can't write for shit. So if you want to write it, I will definitely put my name on it because I trust what you have to say. And from the great one, Immortal Coil, not a kid's show. Go un-F yourself. Yes, sir. Thank you. So this is the thing that gets me. You're taking 2 characters that are historically not gay, having them have a fling, and then maybe changing it back. That is not a gay character. You need to, if you're going to create a gay character, it's not gay on a whim. That's what they're saying by
Right.
this. You know what I mean? A gay character is born that way. That's what they told us. And now they're saying, well, they could be gay for a little bit, like a college fling, and now they're not gay anymore. That's not
That's
gay.
kind of
Isn't
very
that
insulting.
bisexual? Like what is bisexual then?
Well, that could be bisexual, but this
Well,
is to me.
They're treating
you
it
have-
like it's a phase, and it's not a phase.
Exactly. Great way of putting it. Great way of putting it, like a phase. Jane, were
Or,
you
but
gonna say something?
I think that goes back to what we were saying before. What is this relationship? We don't know. And they're confusing it with all of these different scenarios they're throwing out there and how they're choosing to describe it. It's like 1 minute they're in love, and then the next minute they're not. So is she going to date other women? I mean, what is happening? There's just no explanation.
It makes no sense. It really doesn't. And it's actually, to me, it's not characteristic of a true gay character to jump from, like, and they say gay from, man to woman to back to man to woman. A gay character is someone who was born that way, loves the person of the same sex, and is not going to, on a whim, change back to banging the opposite sex because now it works for the narrative of this artist. It's a writer.
And I think it goes back to what you're saying too before about they couldn't just be friends. Like, if she's getting out of a toxic relationship, you would think she would want her best friend there, and then they can just be friends and have fun and go on adventures and things like that. This is not what would naturally happen. Why do they think that this is what women would do?
Maybe it's what they think they hope women would do because they're very, insecure men.
Damn straight white men. I heard that, Lorena. What do you got to say about it?
It's just tone deaf to me. It's like they really. It's like, granted, I'm not gay. Granted, I'm not bisexual. I don't know whether this would appeal to or not, but I just don't like the fact of just throwing them together like this without any context behind it. There's no story for me to appreciate. So I look at this and I'm kind of just like, what?
Mm-hmm. What? It's painful. It just, again, create, like you always say this, create new characters, give them an origin story, give them a history, and understand the community you're trying to write about, and not just, hey, look, we got gay people. Oh, they're not really gay. Whatever, they're gay. Right? Fat Steven Seagal. Right. And that's the best way of putting it. It is insulting.
Right.
Fat Steven Seagal beats up Ryan Giant. Yeah, put him in a multiverse, yet no universe where they are gay. Yeah, exactly. Put him in a multiverse, change it up a bit. I don't get it.
Well, they
really
did that with
just
the
don't get
Injustice.
it,
We
what
just
they're trying to
read
do.
that. In the Injustice multiverse, they're gay, married, and so there they have it. But
here we go.
Again, it's
we
not
have
organic.
Well, we have a definition. SJW definition: sexual fluidity is one or more changes in sexuality or sexual identity. Sexual orientation is stable and unchanging for the vast majority of people, but some research indicates that. So, yeah, that'll change next week, I believe, Tina, if it's the
She says,
SJWs.
to continue on, she says some people may experience in their sexual orientation, and this is more likely for women than for men.
So basically, SJWs are saying women are indecisive.
Pretty much.
Right.
I think basically
So they're
what
so
this
sexist.
this is their way to say that if you're straight, you don't have to worry about it. It could be just a phase, and you know what? You could be on the right path if you get out of it now. So I don't know. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Okay, then. I don't know. Let's move on. I'm so sick of Harley and Poison Ivy right about now. Oh my God. What do we have here, and who's sharing this?
This is I'm sharing this, but I don't know. I haven't actually read this article, but it's Disney confirms. This is kind of like the last article. Disney confirms its first bisexual lead character who is also multicultural. So there's a kid.
Oh, thank God! Check all the boxes.
Yeah.
Those look like
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
They look very young.
rather disturbing.
These look like toddlers.
Those are
14 they're
toddlers.
Yeah.
14 years old, it says here. Yeah, the 14-year-old Dominican American girl. So she's a
14-year-olds
14-year-old.
don't know anything.
She's
I
14.
don't know why Disney feels they need to sexualize a 14-year-old into.
All right,
Oh
nerd
my
cookies.
God.
They look
Well, let
much
me ask.
younger.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yeah,
I
they
want to
do
go
look
through
younger.
everyone. Listen, everyone in the panel. We'll start with Tommy and go straight down. Do they look like they're older than 8 years old? Tommy, go.
They look pretty young to me. I don't know. It's
nerd
kind of hard to
cookies.
tell just from a cartoon like that, but yeah, they look younger.
Yeah, they look like
Nerd
toddlers.
cookies. Okay, Jane.
This is insane. They look like babies.
Right. Script.
Yeah, they're definitely not teenagers or in the double digits of ages yet.
Breadstick Steven.
Culture.
Casino.
This is clearly disturbing. I'm sorry. It just I'm so sick of this stuff. I mean, we're adrift in this sickness that has permeated Hollywood for a long period of time, and these people are too young to even be considering these kinds of ideas.
Life altering changes, life altering ideas.
It's just not all right.
Well, and that I'm going to go to that after that. I'm glad you brought that up. Who's below you? I can't even see him. I think
Final
Final
Death
Death
Star.
Star. How old? Under over 8 years old. The way they look.
I don't believe either of them are tall enough to be driving in 2 years.
Okay, Lorena Creel. Over under 8 years old. What do you think? What do they look like when you first look at that picture?
Speechless.
That's what I thought too. Drew.
I don't know. I'm looking at this right now, absolutely infuriated and disgusted. These don't look older than 8 years old, and frankly, I think this is pedo bait. It's just
Okay, and that's
It
where
is.
I was going, Drew. They could say they're 14 years old. They drew these two girls, flat-chested, straight, big head, like they're little girls. They did them as little girls, and they do that for a reason so that, let me get rid of this Lorena and add this Lorena. They draw them this way to say one thing but visualize with children another. So my 6-year-old would never think this is a 14-year-old girl. She would think these girls are her age. And what they're doing is normalizing this for little kids. And I am not saying it's wrong for a young child to feel a certain way. I'm not saying that. But to say something's one thing, but show children another, that is wrong. And again,
Scott.
Drew and culture is hitting it on the head. This is almost like a grooming technique. What were you going to say there, Tommy?
Scott, and now this is just my opinion, but I really do think it is wrong. And this is the
I do
reason
too.
I'm going to say when somebody is that young, they haven't even fully developed all their ideals of who they really are. So when you're forcing this kind of stuff on them to say, hey, you need to conform to this because this is normal because it's on your TV screen and you could see it every day. This is actually a form of conditioning where they're trying to tell these kids you need to act this way if you want to be normal. That's what they're trying to do. Now, if a child grows up and they decide that they have feelings for the same sex and everything, as they grow older and they actually have like real ideals about who they are and where they fit in the world, that's absolutely fine. But don't sit there and force this stuff on little kids who are still developing at the time, because all you're doing is confusing them. I mean, look at all those people that have gone out and they've had sex changes and they found out later on, after all this stuff was a big thing and they thought that they had to go do it, that they didn't want it. And now it's almost impossible for them to go back because a lot of those sex changes are irreversible. This is just some of the shit that they keep forcing on people.
Yeah, also, I mean, there's no way this show is targeted to 14-year-olds. This is targeted to young kids.
It's targeted
to
young kids. I got kicked out. So
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Lorena.
They're definitely younger than 14. Definitely younger than 14. I would say in the single digits. I've had to watch a lot of kid cartoons with my nieces and nephews, and they are not young. And again, it's sexualizing children. They're not, teenagers. They're not in a coming of age type of cartoon. This is obviously aimed towards young children.
Right.
No.
Let me get these out of the way real quick. I'm sorry. A super sticker from according to Christy. Yes, Christy, it's poop. You're absolutely right. It's poop. And I'm just going to read some regular ones here too, because some people have some stuff to say. We have Eric Jr. Sorry, something. Maldonado Herrera.
Maldonado.
Thank you so much. I know Eric too. So thank you, Eric. At Sporking News Podcast, Dana Terrace is a Trump hater and her husband, Alex Hirsch. So I don't even know if that has to do with any of this. What I know what it has to do with is Hollywood is normalizing things that should not be for children when it comes to sexuality. And it makes me sick. It really does. Whatever happened to cartoons, and I understand cartoons have always
Blue
been
hair.
used.
Dana Terrace
there you go.
is the creator of the show. She does the blue hair. So that's who she's referring to.
Pronouns in bio.
And let me get to this
hair,
one.
but that's some bad blue hair.
That is. She looks like the freaking the deer girl. McKinney 90, $20. However, this is an opposite to the Twitter outrage that's going on with this character. Oh, Jesus. Azuki Chan, who is 19 in the anime and manga, and he has a large breast. But these people who champion this call us pedos for liking Uzaka. Exactly. Wow. So they don't want women to look like women, but they want children
to behave like adults.
To have a certain. There you go. Thank you. Let's read a little bit of this blue-haired article before I really just start to scream. All right.
Okay, let me. So diversity is making its way onto the Disney Channel. Oh boy. Disney has confirmed it has a bisexual lead character on the Owl House series. The 14-year-old Dominican-American girl, Luz Nocida, is not Disney's first LGBTQ plus character. Pixar featured a gay main character in a short film on Disney Plus. I wasn't aware of that. Do you guys know about that one?
Yeah, I was aware of that. I didn't watch it, but there was a big to-do out in the press about Pixar dropping that on Disney Plus.
Okay. But Luz is the first bisexual character to make a Disney debut on a television series. The Owl House series follows Luz's adventure to becoming a witch, even though she does not have any magical abilities. At first, certain Disney leadership was not too fond of the idea of having an LGBTQ plus character, said the series creator Dana Terrace in a tweet. I was very open about my intention to put queer kids in the main cast. I'm a horrible liar, so sneaking in would have been hard, she said in a tweet. I was told by certain Disney leadership that I could not represent any form of bi or gay relationship on the channel. That was their first instinct was to not allow it, but then Terrence
because it's Disney, people. It's freaking Disney. Like they're supposed to be underage children so kids can relate. So she's like so proud, like I'm able to push this through and really show kids what it's all about.
That's pretty freaking arrogant.
Yeah, it is. She wanted to write a bisexual character, so she really pushed Disney to allow. Luckily, my stubbornness paid off, and I'm now very supported by the current Disney leadership.
Oh, well, who's been at Disney for how long? Are we talking Chapek, Lorena?
Yeah, Chapek.
Well, if we're talking, not necessarily, if we're talking Disney Plus, and what you have to remember about Disney Plus is 2 of their top people have left. One guy left for TikTok, and there's another one who, if she hasn't left yet, she is about to. So
I did a video on that.
It could have been those 2. I don't think it would have gone up that high to Chapek because this is a particular division, and I don't CEO. They're pretty much the broad spectrum, and right now, the parks are in trouble, and Disney Plus is the one that's bringing in the money. So I don't think Chapek was the one to sign off.
But you don't think this would go even up that high? Something about bringing the first ever bisexual character to like a children's cartoon on Disney? I kind of think maybe it would hit that high.
Considering how much of the woke garbage they've been doing and pushing for years, No, if this was the first one, I could see it going all the way up that high. But considering it's not, no, I really don't. It's somebody there at the top level of Disney Plus that signed off on that, and they basically probably just informed Chapek as a courtesy, and that's about it. You know how that thing where it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission?
Yep.
Right.
This is probably what they did.
Real quick, another super chat or super sticker. It is a rainbow unicorn, probably perfect for this article. Thank you, Ballistic Brian. I appreciate that. I think I missed somebody else. I'm sorry, but we do have Damajani in the chat. Rock on.
Hey, Damajani.
He is a badass man. If you haven't, support his channel, please. That man, he's one of the best. He's one of the best. And a Larry super sticker. I don't know if that's the one I just had on, but Larry sent a super sticker, and that is something. That is nope. It just says nope, and I appreciate that. All right, sorry about that. Go on with what you guys were saying.
It's Disney Plus content chief Agnes Chu, who is the one who left. Now she's going to be there until mid-August, so I don't know when exactly. When
this is mid-August.
Yeah, so she could be gone already. She could be gone already, but they said she was going to remain until mid-August, and then they've got the president of marketing, content and marketing for Disney Plus is going to be taking over. So they are losing or have lost already their head content chief. So maybe that is what she's referring to in this article. Maybe she was referring to Agnes Chu. Maybe it's part of the the wall that was not allowing this on the streaming platform up until now. I don't know.
So what's this show about?
It says, in the Owl House, a teenager finds herself stuck in the demon realm and battles the forces of evil alongside a rebellious witch and a pint-sized warrior. So I guess she's the character. No. I mean, it sounds like a bad version of Ash versus Evil Dead, Army of Darkness.
Sex.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah, man.
I want to address somebody's chat actually over there. So Trey Courtney, he says the argument against people against this is y'all are okay with straight relationships apparently, and really, you know what? How many of these older cartoons where they may have hinted at a relationship, but they actually never went out of their way to actually show one, other than maybe two characters touched hands in the cartoon. They didn't really go on this big whole tirade that, we're a gay couple or we're a straight couple. They never really did that. See, that's the problem.
Well, they didn't put it in an article, man. They didn't put it in an article letting us all know that they might have a relationship or they're two straight people that kind of like each other. And and Trey's right. Like that's what they'll use against us. And I don't care. Look I didn't care when Bugs Bunny cross-dressed and teased with another character. That never bothered anyone. Nowadays, if they did it, it would have to be a statement, and everyone would have to know that's why they're doing it. Look, these are children, okay? And I don't care if they say they're 14, they don't look 14. And I don't agree with that. If they looked a little bit older and it was actually towards young adults, I think I'd still be against it, but that's me personally. I wouldn't be as upset if you have these characters that 6-year-olds are going to be watching, and it's the normalization of sexuality in general. Why can't we let our children just be kids and go through whatever feelings they have with their parents and not the world?
This ties into the Avatar thing too, wanting to sexualize the kid characters in a kid show.
But these kids look so incredibly young. That's the problem that I have.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at her. She's supposed to be 14, or maybe that's a guy. I'm not sure.
Girl?
No, that's a girl with the eyelashes.
It's a girl? Okay, so
she's 14.
She's supposed to be 14. Right.
She's 14. Yeah,
she looks
14.
7. It's like her issue should be her parents and homework. Like it shouldn't be being bisexual. That's insane.
Well, that's the problem. They don't want kids to be kids anymore. They want to start getting them early into a certain category. You know, you got to move them in early, or else how are you going to make the next generation of people that are going to be highly offended about everything? Serious.
Exactly. So I'm gonna read this super chat, and then I want to ask a couple people that haven't been saying much. So Chris Persia, one of my original guys supporting me from the days we met each other back in Nerdrotic chat. Sorry, couldn't find the rainbow poop super sticker, so here's some cash. I'll take it, and Google thanks you too. Let's start with Nerd Cookies, then go to Jane, and just down to the guys who haven't been saying much. So Nerd Cookies, how do you feel about this?
Again, it feels like a forced thing, and I agree that I'm not comfortable with how young they look. You could not. I would never have guessed that this was a 14-year-old. No way. So that I think that's what bothers me, I guess, most of all, because again, it's forced and it's uncomfortable. I don't like the they're toddlers, and you could. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. That's basically what I feel like. I just, all of this just feels like they have to check mark off their diversity thing, and it's not really, they're not giving any thought to the quality or thought to the fact that this is a young adult, this is a teenager or teen show. I mean, I think back to like Doug. I mean, they looked like teenagers.
Oh, Doug.
Doug and like the Rugrats.
Billy West was great in that.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. What about that's perfect. Doug. Now we have bisexual 6-year-old that's really 14. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Jane?
Yeah, it's definitely I think a form of grooming, and to make them look like infants, it's just sick, and it reflects the larger problem with Hollywood.
Yeah,
they look like the age
what
of
about
Dora the Explorer.
Oh no, Final, you've been talking. Keep quiet. Script Doctor, I love you. Final, I love you.
You see, the thing I'm more distraught over is just the animation models. Like, if you want to do teenagers exploring hormones and relationships, make sure they look like teenagers. Because I have no problem with teenagers having stories that explore that. I do have problem with them looking like they're children, like legitimately like toddlers, as we've gone over here. And I also hope that, however they're tackling the story, it's not done with the concept of the act of sexuality, as opposed to just maybe kind of understanding their place as they mature. It's one thing to just have an exploration. It's another thing to pontificate about it, right? So I would love to have the idea that, okay, yeah, this may be a Disney show and it has this little backdrop of a same-sex potential relationship, but the models look like they're children. It just creeps me out. They don't coalesce accurately enough. But even like at children at 14, I remember my early teenage years as well. I remember noticing girls and getting emotions and feelings. So, I mean, that is something relatable. But the other part, too, to also consider is the fact that children do watch characters that are older than them, and they use that as role models and examples to live up to. So you have to be very careful with what type of information you're conveying to them at that age. So this is not going to be a show that 14-year-olds are going to be watching. So to have that type of, exploration of relationships and sexual identity in those characters is just going to either go over the head or inadvertently indoctrinate, or have a young child question things that they're not emotionally ready to hear the answers for yet. So really, I just feel like if you want to deal with these types of relationships and you think that maybe targeting an actual teenage audience is appropriate for that, you would then make the characters in that show closer to an adult age, like 19, 20, 21, 22 type of thing, because that's how you translate those thoughts. Plus the audiences, in early teenage years or early mid-teenage years, so they're a little bit more aware of themselves and social situations around them that they could actually grasp and understand and talk about those types of stories. But like an 8-year-old or less, or 9-10-year-old or less, they don't have that frame of reference. So you're really just kind of creating a big, crazy smorgasbord of worms by having this type of subject marketed to such a young audience.
It's perfectly put, man. Perfectly put. Culture, real quick. What do you think? And actually, because I know how you feel, Culture, but like Tina is just playing devil's advocate, but she perhaps it'll be innocent relationship portrayed between like Mickey and Minnie or Donald and Daisy. The only thing I say to that before I hand it off to you, buddy, is that they didn't give us an article telling us it was a heterosexual relationship. You know what I mean? Like they want us to know this. What do you think, bud?
Well, I'm constantly disgusted by the fact that we're normalizing sexual experiences by people that are too young to even understand what that truly means in their life. It makes me angry when I consider that, having that be something that somebody so young would be basically being told that this is totally normal. As a teenager, as you get older, of course Script says, I mean, you remember the first time you noticed the female around you, and there was a level of excitement. But normalizing this is not good, and it doesn't matter to me whether or not it's it's gay or straight or anything like that. But it's the normalization that this is part of the problem. This is disgusting, because now you have adults that are interested in children, and it's gross, and it's 100% these crazy people in Hollywood that are being we know who they are now, I guess, is probably the better way to say it. So I'm just, like you said, I'm not okay with this idea. I understand why perhaps maybe this will be okay, but again, I don't see it. These kids are not ready for what sex means. They are not ready for it. They're not ready to make the decision of what they're in love with. They're not ready to make a decision about changing what their sexual identity is. Like you were saying, it is truly the most foul thing you can do. Anyway, so
it's going beyond the abstract into the specific, right? Because you can have a show about like it's okay to love just in the general abstract, but when you start getting into these types of details and specific aspects, that's when you start throwing a wrench into the gears, as it were. Like kids just aren't able to completely grasp what that dichotomy is.
Confusing them. That's what you're doing, right? Final, go ahead real quick.
Totally potential.
Let me just Final, before you say it, Demajanai, $2. OG Demajanai. These are the same people who have a problem with, again, Azuka. Again, people that don't want women looking like women, but want children talking about very mature and complex ideas of sexuality. Go ahead, Final.
Although Mickey and Minnie, it was made for kids, but also Mickey and Minnie aren't children. They're viewed as adults, of a certain age. I mean, Goofy, Donald, they're all of a certain age. They're not supposed to be like 14 years old.
I don't think they're 6. I don't think they're 14. I think they're older.
Not. They're supposed to be older. And the thing is with this, I don't remember TV, many cartoons growing up that had even straight, like children, romantic relationships between characters when they dealt with kids, like you mentioned, like Doug, but Doug was in high school. So, that's, you start to explore those kind of things, but even that was like really, really just surface level kind of, high school relationships. There wasn't a lot there for them to make this character bisexual. To really have it stand out as a statement, they're going to have to make it like, sexualize it to a degree. They can't really play it like Minnie and Mickey, because that's not really, how would you really know? They're going to have to make it apparent that she's interested in girls, and that means there's going to have to be a level of sexuality.
That's valid, dude. That's valid. I didn't even think of that. Great way of putting it. Yeah.
So
that is just messed up, man. And we got one more article to go over, and it's not in this same topic of grooming children. Wow, this has been a kind of a deep, like, dive into society, this Rogue Entertainment. But This is an article by our good friend Drew, who's on the panel, and it's the normalization of, well, I'm just going to say it, abortion. This will definitely not be a stream that they monetize. I know that already. But it's an important thing. HBO Max is doing a new movie of almost like a buddy road trip movie about a girl that gets an abortion. And I don't have the article up because I can't share it. I messaged you in the private chat.
I'm pulling it up, buddy. Hold on.
And I watched the trailer for this. I don't know if anybody else did, but it really is like a teenage girl buddy road trip movie about a girl having to drive X amount of miles because that's the closest Planned Parenthood, where the young man, yeah. And I mean, even in part of the trailer, the girl is like, the boy's like, well, do I have a say in this? And she's like, no, and it's like a joke on him. Like, you loser, like you have no say in this. Like that's what, and granted, we don't know how the story will end. But just from the trailer, it is a joke comedy about two girls that used to be friends when they were little, but because they became, went into high school and they went into different cliques, one's not the cool kid, one is, but they need each other to get to the abortion clinic, and it's one of those coming of ages like comedies, but it's about abortion.
Involving children.
Pretty much.
Again, because the characters in this are underage. This girl is 17 at the most, and basically, first off, the problem I have with this is it's telling young girls and young women that, hey, look, if you mess around and wind up getting pregnant, here's your free pass out of it. And that's not the case at all. It's a very serious decision when you're making that decision. It's not like in the first 12 hours or 24 hours where, if that's the way you're going to go, you just say, oh, well, I can run to the thing, get a morning after pill. This isn't that. This is full on well, I'm just going to have an abortion and throw caution to the wind. And it just upsets me because it's presented in a comedic backdrop. There is nothing comedic about this. There is nothing, the shots that they take in this trailer too is what pisses me off because, they make, of course, they had to make the young girl that's pregnant. They had to make her parents Catholic, right? Because
right.
God, are you serious?
Yeah. Anytime they can bash Christianity, they
can do that. That's fine.
Anytime they want to do it, it's fine. It gets a pass.
They sure wouldn't do that if the parents were Muslim.
They paint. Yeah, they paint.
Wow, great point.
Yeah, they paint the boyfriend as a typical dickhead. So they want you to automatically root against the boyfriend, so he has no say, even though that actually the guy should have somewhat of a say in what happens. But they don't want you to feel that at all. So they paint the guy, totally unlikable character from the jump. By the way, there's nobody else that she feels can help her. So she turns to the land whale, right? The SJW land whale has to help her because, she's the prototypical, she's a prototypical. She's a prototypical. She's a prototypical fat girl that has no friends,
Right. They were friends in grammar school, and now, real quick, Drew, let me read this from the great Fatal J. Man, I got what do I have right now? 30% of the Dark Council up in here. Fatal J, $10. So proud of you, bro. Bang a rang, yes, sir. And please, guys, check out Fatal J. Check out Damaj and I, but also on Tuesdays, check out the Dark Council, which is right after TR4 on Steven's channel. The Dark Council, who's it on this week? Let me know, Fatal. Put it in the chat. That is one of the best shows, if not the best show on YouTube right now. According to Christy, puts it perfectly. She says, Scott, it's the pretense of the trailer that makes it very cringeworthy. Whatever side anyone is on, this is a serious matter and not to be taken lightly.
Exactly.
So let's not exactly. Drew. I don't think we're gonna have time to read the whole article because I'm on shenanigans tonight with my boy.
Yeah, that's no problem. That's why I'm just here
give us drop it in the link. I want everybody to check out Drew's article, and I want everybody to watch the trailer that's attached to this, and then maybe come back to this live stream when it's processed, and leave in the comments what you really think about it, because
I don't think I'm modded, so I can't drop it in your chat.
Well, also
you're never going to be modded, according to Christy.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Well, I was also going to say, think about other movies that tackled this subject in some regards. There's a classic that was, well, not really a classic, but one that was out there that did this, which was Juno, where basically what ends up happening is that you present the character with the situation of a pregnancy, and within the first 10 minutes, they make a decision of what they're going to do, and then the rest of the movie is the waiting game of just getting to the end point, which is kind of the exact opposite of what you want when you're doing any type of story, because you want your characters to be active and progressing towards a goal. But if they already make that decision at the beginning of it and the goal is already resolved, then you're not watching a movie anymore. You're just watching things happen because they happen. And I will say this, like, yes, the subject matter is serious, but I can come up with a lot of jokes about this nature, but not making fun of the act of abortion, but making fun of the character's approach to it and approach to the topic, because that's kind of how you want to do a comedy of this of this type. You want to make the characters grow to understand what the responsibility is that they're taking, and you want to make the comedy come from that. But this here is your paint by numbers road trip comedy about these two girls regaining their friendship, and the entire backdrop is the entire inciting incident is that they have to go out of state for this one girl to get this procedure. But it's so pushed to the side that it's not actually the crux of the story. It's literally a marketing trick just to get people to take a look at this really derivative film, and that's what's appalling about it.
Yeah, and the thing is, what's the problem is it's based on this woke ass novel, right? Because it started off with a trash novel that some brilliant, stunning, and brave chick wrote, and so they decided, well, I don't know, let's adapt that novel and put it on HBO Max. Which, by the way, guys, HBO Max also are the people who are putting a trigger warning on Blazing Saddles. So go figure.
Right.
So,
oh my God.
That's because they're upset about movies like that. They upset them, and they sit there and they.
Exactly,
because they can't stand it, because it's just a little bit too real for them, or at least it was like how most people thought at the time, and they can't have that because that's messing up the narrative.
But there's no social commentary in this movie. There's nothing that is necessarily redeeming. This is basically pushing the fact that, hey, abortion's a cavalier thing. It's always an option. It's the whole my body, my choice crowd gone amok. It's not even my body, my choice at this point. This is just, absolutely throwing it in your face like, hey, this is okay. Go and do this. You don't have to take accountability whatsoever.
But it's also showing the fact that there's not any easy access to this to begin with, and they're pointing out how that's a problem, which to a degree it kind of is. They're making it like, oh, we live in a terrible state because I can't actually go down the corner and get this done immediately. I have to travel 3 days in order to get this. Now that's a serious issue to address, but I highly doubt that this movie's going to address it in the respect it deserves, or at least make any good, decent jokes about the absurdity of that, so that you can actually have a conversation about it. Instead, what they're really just trying to do is, it's just a driving point for a very derivative story. It's literally going to have no bearing on it. I wouldn't be surprised if, for the majority of the movie, that the audience that are watching this are going to forget the fact that she's going to this place for an abortion.
Well,
that's how much in the background I think this thing is actually going to be.
It seems like they're treating it like a cosmetic. It seems like they're treating it like a cosmetic surgery or something. Like she's going to get, whatever, like breast implants or something. I mean, that's how nonchalant it seems.
That would only be funny if they actually made fun of the fact that they're treating it like it's nonchalant, when it's actually, and you have to have that one person in there that's like, no, this is a serious thing. Like, you can do a joke where she finds out, oh, what, they're just going to suck it out of me with a vacuum? I've got a vacuum at home. And the other person be like, no, you idiot, that's not, it doesn't work that way. It's far more serious than that.
Even that's like distasteful, though.
And then she makes a joke like, well, I can take a vacuum because my boyfriend's hung like a horse or what have you. It's like, no, that's not, like, you have to have that conflict between the characters, right?
That was funny, though.
But yeah, see, I just proved you can make fun of the subject by not actually addressing the that type of aspect of it, but you make fun of the characters' treatment of the subject in a way where they're being told, like, they're not understanding the seriousness of it. That's kind of how you do it. And it's a very difficult balance to make. You have to have a lot of experience with comedy and with understanding of character motivations and character defining good characters. But I mean, it can be done. I just don't think that these writers are the ones to do it, because they say, you mentioned this in your article, Drew, they wrote it as a screenplay first. No one was interested, so they adapted it to a novel, probably self-published it, which then got it circulating around as an IP so that they could actually sell it as a script. And then they wrote the script, and again, it's just a derivative idea. The whole thing is,
you know what my major problem with this kind of nonsense is, and you know what, it's to me, it's just absurd. It's because when you talk about these freaking blue check marks that are on Twitter, they want to dig like 10, 15 years into your past to bring up something that you may have said on a whim back then, or anybody for that matter. And they want to use that kind of shit against you, because you know what? You're always supposed to be liable for what you said, and there's always a consequence to pay for it. But when they're talking about stuff like this, they want to make light of it. Like there's supposed to be no consequence whatsoever if you get pregnant. You shouldn't have to deal with it. You should be able to just throw it out like trash. And there should never be anything where you actually think about it, plan it out, take an adult approach to it. This is the kind of nonsense they're pushing.
Right. But again, it doesn't matter what side of the argument you come down on, pro or against. What the problem is again, they're making it a joke.
Exactly. They're making a light of what is a very, very serious life decision.
They're making the subject matter a joke where they should be making the characters the joke.
Right.
I mean, that's how you would do it with a comedy.
Yeah, Blazing Saddles gets a disclaimer, but this is portrayed as normal or okay.
I'll be very interested. I'll be very interested to see what the scores and audience scores.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to see the
Rotten Tomatoes
for this.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting.
It's actually called the Unpregnant trailer. Like, come on, seriously? Like
the movie's called Unpregnant. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I don't care enough. My bad. What were you, Drew? Close it out because we got to get going.
Yeah, I just wanted to make like one final point, and that's this. I think that when you sit there and you normalize this, it's not good, because again, you're marketing, whether you know it or not, to an audience that is made up of preteens, young teenage girls, very young women that are 18, 19 years old, and you're telling them that you don't have to worry about accountability. Nowhere in this trailer does it show the girl that's pregnant examining her options or thinking about adoption or anything else that's out there. It's focused on one thing and one thing only. It's made to portray that she only has this choice. And that is not something that is good, especially something to portray to young women.
Especially when you add in the her parents being Catholics, it's like, of course, you gotta take that out of it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm almost feeling like I should just write my own take on this type of subject matter and make it the main characters be the boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're trying to figure out what to do. The girlfriend's immature about it, the boyfriend's not, and they just butt heads that way, but their goal is to work together to get through this and figure out what to do next, because there are a lot of funny things you can do with that, especially if you have your main characters working together but are still at odds on how to reach a common goal that will best work for both of them.
Well, I mean, I know they've done it with movies in the past, Script. I mean, I know they've touched on this subject before, and they've done it in a way where it wasn't so just like brutally ridiculous in the ideology that there's no kinds of consequences for any of your actions, and that, if you don't like how things go where you live, you could just go somewhere else and go get it done because it doesn't matter.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
Well,
I mean, that
we're gonna
whole argument could be going on forever. Honestly.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some. We got to do some outros, guys. I got to get going. I got another stream to do. So first, we're gonna do our outros, and then Culture, you set.
Sure.
Okay, so let's start off with the great Lorena Creel.
Hey, everybody.
Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, sure. Well, I am Lorena Creel on Twitter and Lorena Creel on YouTube, bringing you that spice to sci-fi and pop culture analysis with a side of salty Disney. I am supposed to be on vacation, but I'm having way too much fun doing updates and posting stuff on Twitter and trying to go live whenever I freaking feel like it. So if you are not subscribed to me, please do, so you can find out all the videos that I have posted when I go live, and especially when I go live at Universal Studios Florida all through next week. So thanks so much. I was glad I could pop in, subscribe to everyone on the panel, and take care of each other, and do not feed the alligators. Just saying.
Thank you, Lorena. It means I'm so happy you got to make it. All right, Supreme Heretic. Where are they going to find you, brother?
All right, follow me on Twitter at Supreme Heretic. You can also read me on boundingintocomics.com. Check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Supreme Heretic. I have the best damn BSG podcast every Thursday, the Pegasus Actual podcast with myself, the awesome Culture Casino, Script Dr. PhD, Elaine, and Jane. So make sure you catch us on Thursday nights.
Thank you, brother. Final Death Star. You can show your face if you like to at this point.
Okay, let's see if my camera will work here. It's.
I know how arrogant you are. You gotta, your narcissism. So,
Oh, there we go.
All right, there you go, buddy.
So I've got this coming Tuesday. We'll be having the TR4 on my channel again, since Steven's being lazy and picking beans out in a forest somewhere. So we'll be doing TR4 on my channel again on this Tuesday, and then next Saturday we'll be on Jane Theory's channel, I believe, for this show. I'm also doing Enter the Nether. It'll be my 5th or 6th episode now. That's tomorrow night on my channel, 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, and I'll be on Bear Nerd Fun. Thank you very much. I'll be on Bear Nerd Fun's channel tonight at, I believe, 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and we're going to be talking about Star Trek. And there you have it.
All right, brother.
Nice.
Thank you. Culture Casino, just your outro right now. Just your outro.
Just my outro. I'm going to say thank you all for watching. I am really proud of my friend and a great creator that presented us with an opportunity to celebrate him today. And if you're not already subscribed to the wonderful host for today's show, you should be, because he's a great man. He's a lot of fun, and he's about as straightforward and honest as you're going to find. Everybody else on this panel is worth your time, so make sure you're subscribed to everybody else. If you're not subscribed to me, just for fun, check out a couple of the videos, because occasionally I make some good content. Other than that, I get an opportunity to hang out with all of these amazing people from time to time, and I feel so blessed. So thanks for watching us today. You guys are great, and you're the only reason that we're here. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Script Doctor.
Well, thank you so much for having me on tonight, Scott. And if you're out there watching, please subscribe to Scott's channel at Sporking News Podcast. And you can find him here, 3 days a week streaming with Song of Ice and Fire predictions and the TR4 and the Sporking News Dump, which I think is just called The Dump. So head on over to the Dump next week, where you'll find some great content from a wonderful panel like the one tonight.
Thank you, brother. Make sure everybody subscribes to Script Doctor. Jane Theory.
Hey guys, you can find me here on YouTube, where I post weekly movie and television reviews every Sunday at 6 Central, as well as some occasional pop culture news and commentary. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jane Theory. And if you enjoy The Witcher, the television series, or the books, I'm beginning a new series of videos going scene by scene of the first novel, Blood of Elves, which will begin this Sunday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. See you then.
Thank you, Jane. That's awesome. Thank you, Jane. Nerd Cookies.
Hello. Thanks again. This has been a great stream, great group of people. Always a good time here at Sporking News Podcast. But yeah, you can find me at Nerd Cookies, my YouTube channel, and on Twitter. I do sci-fi and fantasy news and lore content. So come check it out. I usually do have a focus on upcoming projects like Dune and the Amazon Lord of the Rings series. I just dropped a video today regarding the Rings of Power. So if you're interested in that, come check it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? This is Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. Now, I would like to just go ahead and say congratulations, you bald, bold, and beautiful bastard, Scott. Congratulations that you finally made it. And I would like to thank everybody that's been on the panel and actually put up with my nonsense again tonight. You all are amazing. I want to thank everybody that's been in the chat. And if you want to find out why we are the most hated guinea pig on YouTube, just stop by Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective, where we do talks on lightsaber theory, old movies, and a lot of toy talks, as well as promote Steven and his enema fetish.
Thank you, Tommy. And that's me. I like to thank everybody for coming out for Rogue Entertainment tonight. This panel has rocked. We have 81 likes. That's amazing. Thank you so much for everyone who actually super chat and gave me a sticker. I'm like amazement. But next week, August 22nd, will be the celebration stream at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please come out again and put even more money in my pocket, you son of a bitch. No, thank you very much. This panel is amazing. This chat is mature and amazing. And I really can't imagine everybody that's supported me to get this far. Let's push for 10K for next August. Let's do it. So we're gonna actually, I got a new sponsor. Last week I got the sponsor. So we're gonna end this with our the sponsor tonight. You didn't. Why? But
I don't think there's sound. We could.
There's no sound.
Somebody read
There's
it.
no sound.
What's the script?
For all your colon cleansing needs.
Bring me, Joel.
Walden's better.
Stephen
Hey, Tommy,
Walton
you
has
do
no
it.
pants on.
Not recommended.
Wow,
for
we
oral
suck.
consumption.
I can't read.
I don't know. We just suck. Boomer moment. Later, everybody. Have a great night.
get the
Stephen
picture.
Walton likes to put things up his butt.
Take care.